Wow, praise Yahweh. All right. Praise the mighty Yahweh. Welcome to the house of Yahudah. I am Minister Michael Israel. Let's go ahead and get started with today's Sabbath services. Have a treat this morning, or this afternoon. Elder Nesha is going to do one of her presentations, and so let's get into it because I don't want to miss a minute of it. I want to be able to sit down and listen. So let's open up with the prayer. Turn with me to the book of Psalms 113. And let us face the east. For the reading for Psalms 113. Praise Yahweh. Psalms 113, it reads, Praise ye Yahweh. Praise, O ye servants of Yahweh. Praise the name of Yahweh. Blessed be the name of Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, Yah's name is to be praised. Yahweh is high above all nations, and his glory above the heavens. Who is like unto Yahweh our Elohim, who dwelleth on high, who humbleth himself to behold the things that are in heaven and in the earth. He raises up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth the needy out of the dunghill, that he may set him with princesses, even the princes of his people. He maketh the barren woman to keep house, to be a joyful mother of children. Praise ye Yahweh. Shema Israel. Shema Israel. Yah Eloheinu. Yah Eloheinu. Yah Eloheinu. Akkad. Akkad. Shema Israel. Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh Akkad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh is one. Bless you, Yah. Thank you, Yah, for this glorious and wonderful day. For without you, Yahweh, we're nothing. May you open the hearts of us to receive the edification of you, Yahweh, your praise, your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you give, so that we can better our walk with you. Strengthen our hearts to return back to you, Yah. For without you, we are nothing. I pray these words are accepted by you, O Yahweh. Thank you, O Yahweh. Bless you, O Yahweh. Amen. All right. Praise Yahweh. Excuse my voice for cracking. But what I want to do now is, without any further ado, praise Yahweh, I have the honor and the privilege of bringing up Elder Nesha to deliver one of her powerful messages. And if you have any questions or comments during that time, she will be able to see them. All right, let me get this set up for you. Sorry. There we go. All right. Get out here. Oh, I'm right here. Yes, ma'am.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
First and foremost, I'd like to give all the praises to the Almighty God by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want to thank the Almighty for waking me up this morning, carrying me throughout the week, as well as my family. My brother, the Almighty called him home, and it was a beautiful ceremony. And I just thank him that all went well, because a lot of times, family members get upset because of something somebody else did, and that did not happen. So I thank him for a beautiful, beautiful ceremony for my brother, Angelo. Thank you, y'all. Today, my presentation is going to be on kindness. And I'm going to have Moray, Michael, because he has such a beautiful voice. Of course, you know, he's handsome also. He's going to help me out a little bit with this. Okay, first of all, I'd like for everybody to turn to Genesis chapter 2. And Moray, I would like for you to start reading at Genesis chapter 2, verse 17.
Yes, ma'am. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Stop. So, as you can see in that, the Almighty told Adam and Eve not to eat of the tree of good and evil, or they was going to surely die. But Yahweh, being the type of Elohim that we serve, showed kindness, because he could have very well destroyed Adam and Eve. I would not even be here to even do this presentation. So we do have to thank the Almighty from the very beginning of time for his kindness and mercy and compassion. Next, we're going to go to Exodus 2. Let me find it. 2 and chapter 2, verse 6.
Exodus chapter 2 and verse 6, it reads, And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children.
Stop. We're talking about our great father, Moses. Moses was put in a basket so that he wouldn't be killed with the other Israelite boys. And had not Pharaoh's daughter had compassion and kindness, Moses wouldn't be here, nor would we. Next, I would like for everybody to turn to Joshua chapter 2. And let me find it. Chapter 2 and verse, we're going to go to 2 and chapter 2, verse 12, please.
Joshua chapter 2 and verse 12, it reads, Now therefore, I pray you, swear unto me by Yahweh, since I have shown you kindness, that ye will also shew kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token.
Stop. Now, in this chapter, it talks how Rahab protected our brothers and gave them shelter. Had she not did that, they would have been annihilated. So that is another example of kindness in our testament that shows. The next one I'd like everybody to go to is Deuteronomy 9, chapter 9. Verses 12 through 29, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 9, starting at verse 12, it reads, And Yahweh said unto me, Arise, get thee down quickly from hence, for thy people which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They are quickly turned aside out of the way which I command them. They have made them a molten image. Verse 13, Furthermore, Yahweh spake unto me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone that I may destroy them, and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make of thee a nation, mightier and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burned with fire, and the two tables of the covenant were in my two hands. And I looked, Behold, ye have sinned against Yahweh Elohim, and have made you a molten calf. Ye have turned aside quickly out of the way which Yahweh had commanded you. And I took the two tables, and cast them out of my 2 hands, and brake them before your eyes. And I fell down before Yahweh, as at the first. 40 days and 40 nights I did neither eat bread nor drink water, because of all your sins, which ye sinned in doing wickedly in the sight of Yahweh to provoke him to anger. Verse 19. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure, wherewith Yahweh was wroth against you to destroy you. But Yahweh hearkened unto me at that time also. Yahweh was very angry with Aaron to have destroyed him. And I prayed for Aaron also the same time. And I took your sin, the calf, which ye had made, and burnt it with fire, and stamped it, and ground it very small, even until it was as small as dust. And I cast the dust thereof into the brook, and descended out of the mount. And at Taberah, and at and at Masah, and at Kibarath Vavah, ye provoked Yah to wrath. Likewise, when Yahweh sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given you. Then ye rebelled against the commandment of Yahweh Elohim, and ye believed him not, nor hearkened to his voice. Ye have been rebellious against Yahweh from the day that I knew you. Thus I fell down before Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights, as I fell down at the first, because Yahweh has said he would destroy you. I prayed therefore unto Yahweh and said, O Yahweh Elohim, destroy not thy people and thy inheritance, which thou hast redeemed through thy greatness, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Verse 27. Remember thy servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look not unto the stubbornness of this people, nor to their wickedness, nor to their sin. Lest the land whence thou broughtest us out say, because Yahweh was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he had brought them out to slay them in the wilderness. Verse 29. Yet they are thy people and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest out of thy mighty power, and by thy stretched out arm.
Thank you. So do we see the kindness of what the Almighty have done for us? We provoked him. He had given Moses the 10 commandments, and we couldn't even wait 40 days until Moses came down to continue to sin. And had it not been for the Almighty having kindness and compassion, again, we would have been all destroyed. But Moses, in our behalf, asked the Almighty not to do that. So therefore, again, another example of kindness from the Almighty. Now, the next one I want to Moray Mike to read is Ruth, chapter 3, 8 through 10, please.
Book of Ruth, chapter 3.
Verses 8 through 10, please.
Starting at verse 8, it reads, And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid, and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, Who art thou? She answered, I am Ruth, thy handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. Verse 10. And he said, Blessed be thou of Yahweh, my daughter, for thou hast shown more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich.
We see again in verse 10 how that kindness is exemplified. And that's what this whole presentation is going to be. One last scripture, Mike, I would like for you to read, and then I'm going to read the reason why I wanted to do this presentation. Ezekiel chapter 18, verses 20 through 23, please.
Yes, ma'am. Ezekiel 18, starting at verse 20, it reads, Ezekiel 18, verse 20. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he hath committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die. All his transgressions that he hath committed, they shall not be mentioned unto him. And his righteousness that he hath done, he shall live.
Thank you. I wanted Marine Mike to go through some examples in our scriptures of our forefathers and some people that have exempted kindness, which is something that we all need to learn to do. Not just sometimes, but focus on doing it all the time. If you can find a way to do it every day, do it every day. Now, again, the reason I wanted to do this presentation on kindness, at my job, I worked at the post office in Cincinnati. I was in the restroom and it was a foreigner. She was a Chinese young lady. And she saw me washing my hands. And I have this skin disease called vitiligo, and it looks like this, okay? And when that first story happened, it wasn't even this bad at first. I was kind of like trying to hide my hands, put gloves on, and just, I was like really kind of ashamed of my hands, the way it was looking. And then I come to realize, you woke up this morning. You're alive. You can walk. You can talk. You got all your facilities. And I have carried you for 75 years. And you worried about your skin. The thing you should be concerned about is keeping my laws and my commandments. Okay? Because I can heal you if I want to. So that's what we need to be concerned about. So let me finally get to my presentation. The young lady saw me in the restroom and she said, "You mind if I ask you a question?" I'm like, "No, I don't." So she said, "I have this on my neck," and I didn't know what it was. I said, "Well," I didn't look at it. I said, "Well, it might be what I have vitiligo." And she said, "Oh," she was like, I feel like I'm not beautiful." And I stopped. Stop. You are beautiful. I am beautiful too. Like, nobody has to tell me because I know it. And you are beautiful. And she said, "Oh, thank you, thank you." So every time I would see her walk through the hall or walk through the plant, and I look at her, I say, "You're beautiful." And she said, and she just smiled. So one day she was running and trying to catch me on break. She said, wait, I got a present for you. I'm like, and so I went and she gave me this card. It's a thank you card. Now I'm going to read it. Now I might stumble over some of the words because she kind of she goes, "Dear teacher, I wanted to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your encouragement after I learned more about vitiligo. Your invaluable guidance has helped me to not only understand the complexities of this skin disease, but also to find comfort in knowing that I am not alone on this journey. Your kindness and empathy has made a world of difference in my life and helped me face the challenges of vitiligo with hope and perseverance. You have shown me that I don't have to be afraid and that I can live a fulfilling life despite of my condition. May you always know the deep appreciation that I have for all that you have done for me. Hope you know how much it was appreciated." And that card brought tears to my eyes, which is doing it now. And it just shows that you, me, and all of you in here and the internet, we need to start showing kindness to one another, not only to strangers, but to at least one another. One kind word made a huge difference in this young lady's life. because she felt like she was ugly because she had I didn't even see the spot, something way up under her neck that probably nobody said, but she felt that way about herself. And I just thank the Almighty that I was there in a position to give her some hope and encouragement so that she can move on and not focus on her skin, but focus on being a righteous person. And with that being said, thank you for listening. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Thank you, Lord Mike. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Praise Yahweh. Kindness. Kindness does go a long way. Just saying something nice to someone. But the one thing that's really deep is that we're so damaged as people that we don't appreciate kindness. We look at it like, oh, you trying to get with me? Oh, you flirting with me? But no, I'm just showing you kindness. And that lesson was very inspiring. I'm gonna tell you why. No, thank you. Praise Yahweh. That was very inspiring. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna start doing, which I kind of do it anyway, but I'm gonna start doing. Just say something nice to somebody. When this, tonight, if you go to the store and the lady ringing you up, or a gentleman, find something nice to say to him. Start there. Just, you look handsome. You see a young lady or a woman, you say, you're pretty, and then leave it at that. Maybe not even go, if you don't want to do that, that's fine, but just give a compliment. Just compliment. Man, you move fast when you checking out. I don't know what you would say, but just something. Something. Praise Yahweh, that was wonderful. Because the one thing that I was talking with a young lady, one of my students, and she wasn't happy with me for a while. She wasn't happy with me because she did something and I called her on the carpet. And I told her, I said, that what you did was none of your business. To this other student, that was none of your business. She got upset. She was like, but I said, no, but you should have minded your business. So, she didn't speak to me for a whole week. Normally she come in the classroom, she like, Mr. Israel, hey. She didn't do none of that. Passed me up. But one day I went up to her and I know her mother was sick, and I went up to her, I said, well, how's your mother doing? And by me just doing that, because at first I was going to be like, you know what? F you. You ain't my child. That was the pride in me. But nonetheless, she's a child. So I went up to her and I said, well, I'm going to at least ask her how her mother is doing. And simply by that show of kindness that you just spoke about, I tapped on the shoulder. She was in class. I was at my desk and I went up to her. I said, hey, how's your mom doing? And she had the biggest smile and said, she's good. She's okay. She said, Mr. Israel, can I talk to you for a minute? And then the floodgates opened. We apologized to each other. I told her, I said, if I said something, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but I can't pull punches with you. And she took it and she said, I know I was wrong. She had said she had talked to her counselor and the counselor told her, kind of like, hey, it was wrong or whatever. And she was like, and I'm sorry. I was like, it's okay. Well, it wasn't okay. I told her, I said, okay. So we talked and now we back. That's, until I do something else to make her mad. But some people would think that showing kindness is real easy. It's really not. Especially to show kindness to somebody that either you don't know or you might not like.
Right.
So let me ask about that. How far should your kindness go? Yes, sir.
As far as my kindness will go, I'm just saying, like, if you do something terribly wrong to me, I'm just saying, if somebody did something terribly wrong to you, then you should be able to cut them off, with no doubt, because they shouldn't have did that to you, and it was wrong, like adultery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna accept that. Ain't nobody gonna accept that. I mean, well, some people might, but yeah, showing kindness to people can be hard. It is. Don't sit up here and just say it's easy, because it's not.
Okay. Anyone else? So let's see. You brought out a point of where somebody do something to you really, really bad, like hurt you to the point of like you just, unforgiving. But when you deal with kindness, kindness is also, let me say this, even if somebody did something horrendous to you, you can still show them kindness. I can hear people now. See, Brother Michael, you being soft. We need some warriors up there, Brother Michael. We need a warrior up there. Well, I mean, even David cried, but it didn't take him away from being a warrior. But nonetheless, I'm not saying that, if somebody does something wrong to you, you have every right to tell them, I don't want you in my life, and kindness to them. Depending on what happened, you let them walk away with their life. A man lays with another man's wife, the husband finds out, and you able to breathe the next day. I showed you kindness. I showed you mercy. See, kindness is not just, hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, let's have a cookout. Kindness is also showing and being generous. By me not taking my weapons of war and blowing your head off because you disrespected my house is me showing you kindness. I'm gonna tell you something. One of my favorite lines in the movie Black Panther is when he caught up with the white guy with the shooting arm. I forgot what the guy's name was. He caught up with him, and he has his head up against the truck, and the Black Panther has his claw out, and the guy says, "Mercy, mercy," and Black Panther says, "Every breath I let you take is mercy." I said, "Wow, that's powerful. Wow, that is powerful." But you can still show kindness by simply allowing that person to, you let them walk away with their legs, or you let them walk away with their life. That's a form of showing kindness. I have a few comments on here too. Praise Yahweh. Got to read from, and shalom to everyone that tuned in. Praise Yahweh. Sister Andrea, hey sis, says, all praise, honor, and glory to the mighty Yahweh, or to the mighty Yah. Shabbat shalom, beautiful family. Shabbat shalom, beautiful sister, to you and your family. Hannah Flores, praise Yahweh. Shalom, shalom, states, I've always heard kill your worst enemy with kindness. So I feel like every chance you are given to show your kindness, you should take it. Not just to make them feel good about themselves, but for you. That is very true.
Yeah.
That is very true, sister. That is very true. Because you think about it. Fighting fire with fire, how do we really, how I mean, we're, you know what I'm saying, where do we really, grow from that? You do something, and I'm not talking about, let me just really single it down to this. I'm not talking about they did something to you horrendous. Let me name a few horrendous. Well, I don't know because I don't want to spark nothing in no one's feelings. But you know what was horrendous in your life. So let me just go into this point and say, when you think about some of the things that has happened in our lives, we've all offended somebody. We've all hurt someone's feelings. But when does it really matter? Is when it happens to us. In the book of Ecclesiastes, it talks about how I also have cursed others. And I remember when my elder had brought that out some years ago, Elder Tobiah, and that stuck with me. Show kindness, show mercy. We can even show kindness if I disagree with you. If I disagree with you. Sydney, shalom, queen, praise Yahweh. She says, shalom. I think your kindness should go with how genuine you are. If you are truly a kind person, then that shows. But not being authentic with it shows as well. So if it's not in you, don't do it. Be authentic. Don't fake the funk. That's right. Praise Yahweh. Don't fake it. Don't fake it at all. Praise Yahweh. And that was a beautiful topic, beautiful comments. Keep them coming. Also, too, if you have questions, we'll talk and discuss any questions that you may have. Oh, Andrea, sis also brought in another point. Sister Andrea says, Moray, I want to give a testimony. Well, cool. Let's go ahead and go into testimonies. Moray, I want to give a testimony on the mercy and goodness of Yahweh. But my brake line went out again. Same as last year. Wow. But in a different spot. But my life was spared once again, and I am thankful. We're thankful too. Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. That is the Almighty, boy. I'm telling you. Man, that's the Almighty. I'm going to tell you, one time I was driving. This was when I was, I was fresh, kind of out the hospital, and I was driving to a job interview at the time. I should have stayed home. But I'm driving, and as soon as I made this turn, something happened with the truck where it started to swerve. I swerved into this grassy lane, and I was heading toward the train tracks, and I'm hitting the brakes, but the car's not stopping. Eventually, the car rams into a gate, knocks the gate down, but it didn't knock the gate down. It just caused the gate to go down, and the gate came back up. So my wife's truck is stuck at this time. And people are like, how in the heck? They're like, how did you get here? I was like, when I drove, it just went over the gate, and the gate went back up. Good thing the gate didn't catch the truck, and I'm in the air like this. But the truck was okay, and the damage was done. The truck was okay. Praise Yahweh, I was okay. I mean, it was such a deep thing that they was like, "Are you on drugs?" Like the police would ask me, look at the fire, "Are you on drugs?" Man, I was like, "Nah, I mean, I take medication, but that don't affect my ability to drive." They're like, "You sure? You all right?" I mean, that's just how deep it was. So praise Yahweh. Are there any other testimonies? Yes, sir.
I want to say by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise the mighty Yahweh. Yahweh is righteous. Yahweh is holy. I want to thank him for allowing me to wake up. Let's see another day.
Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Any other testimonies? Sister Sydney, praise Yahweh. She says, praise his name. Sister Andrea, praise his name. He is worthy to be praised, and it's even better when you can recognize it. Praise Yahweh. That was beautiful. Any other testimonies? Anybody else been blessed this week? Well, let me ask this question. I was thinking about this. And this goes for anyone that's listening. And also, too, I know we were having issues with audio. So if anything comes through, if you can hear me well, just send in praise Yah. Just type in praise Yahweh. But let me ask this question. Why are you here? And that's not really a philosophical question like, why are you here on earth? It's more or less like, why are you here? Why? All right, Hannah, praise Yahweh. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Why am I here?
And the people got to hear it.
The reason why I'm here is because I have to come here. And besides, I'm gonna be honest. Like sometimes my spirit just be vexed. I don't be like, I just don't want to come. Seriously, I don't want to come at all. But I rather, because if I do die, then I can't. The Almighty can't say that I wasn't trying. So that's.
Okay, very good.
You can't say that. Oh, you didn't come to sacrifice because your spirit was vexed. You can't say that.
Very good. Very good. So now we got to figure out why is the spirit so vexed? Why do our spirits be so vexed? It's not just you, it's a lot of us. Why do our spirits be so vexed? Why do we find it hard to be happy on this day? That's my question as well. Why do we find it so hard to be happy on this day? You know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all might think that Minister Michael is corny, but you know what? I really don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm a simple man. I don't, when I see y'all walking in them doors, I just light up. I light up because I truly am happy to see y'all. Because I only get to see y'all once a week. Well, except for you. But I'm happy. But why do we let things in our life take away our joy? Let's talk about that for a quick second before I go any further with anything else. Why do we allow those things to take away our joy? Whatever it is we're dealing with. Why is that? Anyone can answer anyone? Y'all just gonna look at me? I don't know why. I don't know why. Yes, ma'am.
I think some people just don't be strong enough to overcome certain things. And if you're not strong enough, you're gonna let whatever happen overcomes it. And just how a lot of people is, they're not strong enough to deal with certain things and stuff. And some people are.
That sums it up. But you know what's deep though is that, let me ask this question. Do we have to pray for strength? Should we be praying for strength? Yes, ma'am.
Right. I don't think you necessarily, well, I'll just speak with myself. I don't know about other people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I really don't because I'm a strong person and, I just, it just, I know what to do and what not to do. I know the right thing to do and I know the wrong thing to do. And, if you one of those real weak individuals, then yeah, you need to pray for strength. But if you're not, then
That's a good point, sis. And I'm gonna tell you something. I agree with you. And not that you needed my confirmation, because that was a good point anyway. But strength we don't have to pray for. Let me say this. Are there things in our lives that we can literally walk away from and won't think two things about it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know it takes strength to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do you have to pray for something you already have? See, it's not that we don't have strength, it's that we need to learn how to better utilize it. Now, grant you get a diagnosis of something, of course you're going to be down and you're going to be hurt, you're going to be sad, you know what I'm saying? But we really don't have to pray for what Yahweh has already given us. We can pray for maybe, Yahweh, you know, show me how to better use this strength. You know, help me in this situation. Give me clarity, give me peace. Now, peace is something that, you know, is there, but, you know, without the chaos, you know, Yah. And I'm not saying, and let me say this too, I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying don't pray for peace or don't pray for strength. I'm not saying that. What I just want us to realize is, you know, to sit back and think, this is for you to ponder on. Do I really have to pray for something that Yahweh has already given me? He's already made me strong. It's just that I had a moment of weakness and I just need to get back on that strong boat again. A lot of times we let things bother us. The things that bother us sometimes, you know, that, you know, of course, when it comes to health and things of that nature, that's, you know, that's going to bother you. But a lot of times the things that we, you know, the little things is what weigh us down. Worrying about how somebody think about you. Worrying about if somebody talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Worrying about, you know, if somebody going to like you or not. Those are the things that weigh us down even more so than getting a bad diagnosis or something. So what I wanted to do was, and I should have made mention of it last week, is, and this is something that wouldn't be televised, but what I want to do starting y'all willing next week, I wanted to do it today, is we meet in here at 11:30, just the congregation. And we meet in here and we sit and we read the Psalms like Elder Ezekiel used to do, and we pray. We pray for the people and we pray for each other. Now that's something that's not, you know, necessarily going to be televised. You know, that's something within us because, you know, that's our prayer. But I think that, you know, we're real good about calling meetings when we need money or calling meetings when we're offended. But let's call a meeting when we to pray together. How do y'all feel about that? What y'all think?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good. I'm glad we ain't got nobody in here that's like, I pray by myself. That's fine too. It's just opening up. So, you know, saying, I just thought that would be good. And if anyone does want to join in the prayer, I can leave my number and we can have, so it won't be for everybody, of course. That'll be mainly it'll be a more private and more intimate thing because to pray. And I think that's one thing that if you don't get a chance to pray during the course of the week, maybe we can come in here and we can open up the Sabbath day and, you know, come in here and start maybe a half an hour early and we just use that time to pray and work on spirits. Because I think that, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the Almighty's holy day, we shouldn't come in here upset. We should. Yes, sir.
I mean, now, like when I'm walking, right? Sometimes I think, like, one of your spirits, not the problem. One if it's just your mind is the problem. Because I was thinking, like, the mind and the spirit and the body are three different things, right?
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, let the mind just be the problem.
I mean, your mind is what actually. Your mind is what actually helps aid in controlling your spirit. You know, it's kind of deep that if the mind ain't right, then the spirit ain't necessarily gonna be right.
The mind control everything.
The mind controls everything. When the Almighty talks about the heart, he's talking about this. So the mind controls literally everything. But there are some people that like being miserable. They love it. They love being miserable, so they complain about being miserable. I'm so miserable every day. I'm just so sad. Nobody likes me. The Eeyore concept. If you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh, that's the Eeyore concept. And some people just can't be consoled. There's some people you be like, look, man, look, let's do this, man. You are positive, and every positive you give, they deflect it with a negative. Man, you a wonderful young man. I know, but you know, it's people dying and people falling in the pit and people dying. But you are awesome young man. I know, but brother Michael, what happened if? What happened if? But you are awesome you're an awesome sister. I know, but Michael, Mr. Israel, I know, but what about? So then you'll be like, you know what? Then why should I even say anything else? There are certain people you just be like, you know what? Why come talk to me? You're not gonna listen. Do you just want to be someone that complain? Is that what it is? I offer a platform of complaining. Like, no. Sometimes we have to let things go. But sometimes we have so much in our mind. See, the one thing that's deep is this. Let me ask this. Well, let me bring out this point. The human stomach is this big. This is as big as the human stomach. You understand? But what do? We consume so much, and we cause that stomach to stretch. You go from being 120 to 130, 140. Next thing you know, you 600-pound life. You understand? You laid up in the bed, your legs are this big. You understand? Your stomach is this big. And then what we do is we continue to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And I know people in here, and I'm going to be a little personal, but I'm pretty sure people in here has been constipated before. You done ate stuff, you just had too much bread, too much of something, and you just can't let it go. That's a miserable feeling, isn't it? Constipated, your stomach cramping, you can't eat, your hair hurting, because what's happening now is after a while, you're toxic. I'm gonna share a testimony with y'all. When I would come in here and teach early on, and when I was dealing with what I was dealing with, there was times I couldn't come in here because I couldn't go to the bathroom. I didn't have the energy to go. So I would lay there in agony and in pain. Two weeks I went without going to the restroom. There was times I would be standing up here teaching, couldn't go. And I'm sharing that not to be nasty, but I'm sharing it just to be real. But it was painful. Attribute that type of pain to the stuff that we carry on a daily basis. How many of us are carrying around a bunch of baggage that we can really get rid of? But why don't you? Why don't you?
Sometimes I think problems kind of seek you out. Like maybe it's a test. I don't know. But things that you think you put in the past,
right?
And maybe 4 or 5 years later, it resurfaces. Mm-hmm. It comes back into your life, and then you got to make a decision whether is this even worth my time? Is this worth, me being stressed out, and it's affecting my health, both physically and mentally? Is this even worth it? But then you have people in your ear saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. If I was you, I would do this. But to me, it's like it's not worth it because this is something that I put in the past,
Mhm.
and now it's coming back at me years later, and now I got to make a decision whether to just get rid of it again for good. I'm almost to the point where I just feel like this, in order for me to get away from all this crap, just to leave the city.
Right,
I'm almost at that point.
right, right.
Because even if I try to put this crap in the past,
Mhm.
I may run into these individuals
Mhm.
as I'm out somewhere.
Right.
And I will treat them as though I never met them.
Mhm.
And part of me feel kind of bad, feel kind of sad that I would have to do that.
Mhm.
But to protect my own sanity, I have to. But, it's just, sometimes I just feel like problems just gotta seek you out for some reason.
Mhm. That's a good point, Sister Anson. Good point. Yes, ma'am.
Can I say something to the sister? Sometimes if you don't deal with your past, it don't matter like how far you go or where you go, it's gonna always haunt you. If you don't deal with, that's what a lot of people they think if they run from either house to house or city to city, your past is always gonna be a part of you. If you that was wrong. People don't know how or learn how to deal with things that happen in their past, and until they do that, they're never going to be at peace. No matter where you go or where you move, or because in your mind you're gonna always be thinking about, like how you were saying, even though like if you do move, change your number or whatever, it's gonna always be in your mind like what they did to me or what happened until until you deal until you deal with it, you're never gonna no matter how far you go or whatever you do, it's gonna always be in your mind because things that you did from the time you grew little and grew up that's embedded in your mind, it's gonna always be there. I mean, that's just how it is. It's gonna always be in that person's mind what they went through, and I didn't deal with this. Then I'm in a new city or town, whatever. I'm gonna be thinking about it, and it's gonna always have an effect on me. On a relationship, if you try to get into a relationship with someone, if you have kids, it's gonna always until you deal with whatever like goes on with people.
So to face the issues in order to, because a lot of times when we give issues that much power, we'll never be at peace.
Never.
We'll always be on the run.
And,
We'll always be moving. And a lot of times the thing that's really deep is that like there are things in my life that I'm just not gonna get closure on. So you know what I did? I got closure on it. You know what my closure came in at? Knowing that I ain't gonna get closure the way that I tended to, but I need to get closure. You need to leave it alone. We've all done things in our lives that is in our face. Let me share something with you. I have an adult daughter. Love this girl, but the mom broke up our relationship. We were in a very deep. We were getting married. I was in my early 20s. We were getting married, and I wanted to marry her because I didn't want her to think that what I'm saying, you pregnant now, just need to leave. No, I wanted to be like, no, I didn't want to be that statistic, and I didn't want my daughter to be that statistic. My mom, at the time she was, coming down on me like, you need to get you need to get a DNA test. You need this, and I said, well, Mom, I don't want to do that. Now that might have been that was my ignorance. I think I was like early 20s, and I was like, well, Mom, I don't want to do that because I don't want her to think that Now that we ain't together, now no, I don't want her to think that. When it came to her taking me down to child support at that time, I didn't fight her. It wasn't no, you gotta find me if you can catch me. I wasn't playing Where's Waldo. You understand? No, I was there. If I need to show up, I showed up. I didn't debate when at that time, the judge said, this is what you're gonna pay. There was no, oh, judge, come on. It was okay. Because I knew that this was my responsibility. I knew it was. But the one thing that I regret is that I wasn't a strong enough man to go to her and say, you ain't keeping my baby from me. And to tell those that was in my ear, all due respect, that's my child. I need to be there. I need to be there. Did you see the picture of my daughter, Elder, when we was over at the house? Yeah, she's my twin. She is my twin. So it's like, wow, there is no denying. And then the people that were in my ear, when I showed them the picture, they're like, yeah, that's your baby. I'm like, yeah, I know that's my baby. That's me right there. But I regret that. And my daughter and I to this day, she came through. And what made her come through was her mom was like, she was 18 at this time. No, she was 17 at this time. She was like, I'm done. I'm tired. You get her. And I guess the mom was expecting me to be like, what you talking about? I was like, okay, bring her over. Okay, just, yeah, no problem. And then I had to tell my daughter, like, I'm not Mike. I'm still your dad. You understand? You ain't going to be like, hey, Mike, no, that don't work in my house. No, I'm still your father. But we had a good relationship, and then we just broke off. And one of the things that did it, and I'll admit, at that time, she wanted a prom dress. I couldn't afford a prom dress, so I didn't get it. So she might be upset with me with that, and she may look at me like, oh, he's a liar. And I wasn't honest. I said I would get it, and I was in the moment. And that's my fault. I regret that. But I love my daughter. I still love my daughter. And what's deep is the Almighty blessed me with another daughter to start over with. And I felt, and that plagues me. That plagues me. Here it is now. I work in a school, and I try to talk to, and I'm working with students, and I try to get involved in programs that helps, young men. And here it is, I got my daughter that we're almost, I guess I use the word estranged. I don't know where she is. I don't know what she's doing. But I keep my line of communication open. I don't care if she's 40 and she come to me and be like, I need you. What you need? But that's still my child. I don't disclaim her. I don't want to be that dad that one day she on the news for doing something great, then I come show up like, I want her to know, no, I was always going to be there for you. Whether you broke or poor, if you're on the news because you're rich, and if you're on the news because you're homeless, I'm still going to be there. Y'all willing, I'm going to be there for you because you're my child. And I love you. And that's one thing that I hold solace to, is that the mother can't say I did not love my child. So there are a lot of things of regret that we do. But the one thing that we, depending on the situation, now if you was a drug dealer and you got people chasing you looking for their money, then you might want to be like, all right, deuces everybody, I'm gonna be skipping town. But if it's something that you can face it, because the one thing is, even if we leave that situation, it's still gonna be here. And it may not come up in my face physically, but it may manifest itself in another way that's going to disturb my peace. You understand? And also, and that's the one thing that I think is so beautiful about support. If we supported each other, and I'm not talking about support each other because I want to know your business. No, support each other so that I can be there for you. Because a lot of times, the one thing that hurts us too is when we think we can just deal with it on our own. Like, I don't need to talk to nobody. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, There are things that I've had that happened to me in my past, and my wife like, you need to talk to a counselor. I'm like, why? But I'm realizing like maybe I do need a therapist. Maybe I do need to talk to somebody. People say, well, talk to your elders. Well, they ain't always available. I need somebody. What if I need to talk to somebody right there? And the elder like, well, baby, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm like, well, now I gotta talk. Can you talk to me on the toilet? Like, no, it's not gonna always be there. So yeah, sometimes you need someone to help you. And that's one of the things that I definitely would love to bring about with the prayer, because the prayer group don't have. I would like to start a prayer group, not something we do on the Sabbath day. It could be any day of the week, where we have somebody that we can call and we say, look, sister, Sister Marie, she needs a prayer. You know what I'm saying? She was about to beat up somebody and she needs some peace. So let's call and talk to her. Hey sis, what's going on? And we pray together. The same energy that we put in to tell people business like talebearers should be the same energy to take and we pray for each other. Because that's missing. No one that comes into any Knesset should ever feel alone. Should never feel like, man, I got to deal with this on my own. Nah, we need each other. Especially now. We need that. I don't just need you to show up at the funeral. I don't just need you to show up at the hospital. I don't just need you to show up because I called and said, hey, I'm hungry. I need you every day. I just need you. Even if I don't need you every day, let me take that back. If I need you, I need you. And I think that's what we need to be, is more to ourselves. Like we look at that. I'm going to come to you, Elder, but there's a scripture I want us to read. Yes, ma'am. Sure, go right ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that when I look forward to the Shabbat day, like I said, I want to wear a little deal for the Almighty.
Praise God.
I'm happy to come in, and if my spirit is vexed, the first thing that one needs to do is to figure out why.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I need to deal with it, because if I don't, that causes a lot of mental problems within themselves if they don't really realize that. If they don't deal with what's been vexing them. If I'm vexed about something, if I don't deal with it, that's going to fester and fester, and next thing you know, I might be in the nut house somewhere because I didn't deal with it. I need to go and talk to somebody about it and say, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm vexed. I just, because if you vex, you gotta know why. You gotta know what's going on. You have to, it's just something. We have to look at them and say, what is it? Is it called something? So when we face our problem, face it, then we can deal with it. But if I'm not gonna face it, I ain't gonna never deal with it. I'm always gonna be vexed, and you're gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And I think that's one of the things that there's something that I definitely want to return to the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2. Zephaniah chapter 2. I know one thing that my wife and I talked about, that if I don't take better care of myself, because I got this cough, it's this nagging cough, and I got it. I didn't get it till I started having to take this medicine. And sometimes my throat will be dry and I'll be up here talking, and it's irritating. And I like to talk too much, but this cough to be irritating me like that. But there's a young lady in my classroom. She says, I'm ratchet, period. I asked her, I said, well, why do you want to be ratchet? She said, because people, but here's the thing I learned though. Sometimes it's not just because somebody wants to be ratchet, because she told me something. I'm not going to share what she said, but it gave me an understanding on why she acts the way that she does. And now I have an understanding. But it's ingrained in her now to be ratchet. It is. It's ingrained in her to be ratchet. And then I know the neighborhood she lived in. I found that out yesterday. I was like, ooh, that explains a lot. but she's not. She's such a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart, but she just wants to be ratchet, and she loves. I'm telling you, she would love you because she is into culture. Like, she draws pictures. She drew a few pictures for me. She said, I drew these pictures, and it was pictures of Africans. African man, African woman. She was real when we did Black History. She wanted to, but I decorated the door so that it stay up all year round. So she was so excited to do that. She wants to even have locks. Like, she loves African culture that much. She loves it. And she said, yeah, I want to get this African dress, and I want to get an African wrap. And she'll be like, Mr. Israel, look at this woman, look at this girl. And she'll put up all these beautiful pictures. And yesterday I told her she was wanting to be ratchet. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Pull up some African images. She did. And I said, because she had look, she said, because he was showing me pictures that kind of influenced her to be ratchet. So I said, well, show me some African features, some African, images. So she did. And I said, look at that. Look at that. Look at that image. Wow, look at that. And she'll tell you in a minute, just going from what she said, she'll tell you in a minute she don't like nothing. She don't like white boys. She like black. But I'm like, she ratchet. I'm like, why do you want to be ratchet though? Like, sometimes I have to talk her off the ledge. Because she'll be like, I'm a bad bee. I'm ratchet. I'm this. I'll be like, but don't be that around me. She'd be like, I know, okay, I'm a princess. I'm like, there you go. Yeah, I don't want that around me. I don't want no ratchet around me. You understand? But Sydney, she's typed in, my queen, she said, Shalom, some foods is good to us. And we'll eat that food, but when we have good thoughts, we don't cherish the good thoughts. Like the food we like, we keep the negative thoughts, but we won't eat bad food. So in other words, and that's a good point, she's saying when it comes to food, we eat the good food. We'll be, man, you remember them greens? But the bad food we'll also talk about. We all been to our family cookouts and been like, who made the potato salad? Who put raisins in it? Who did this with it? That was nasty. But what we do, we focus in on the good when it comes to our physical appetite. But what about our mental appetite? Excuse me. Our mental appetite, we don't hold on to the good memories. Does anybody, let me ask a question. And it don't have to be intimate. I'm doing this for a purpose. Give me one good memory. Just one. It could be what you can share. It don't have to be nothing, too deep. But just give me one good moment. Something that made you feel good. Something that makes you feel good. Just give me one. Yes, ma'am.
When I graduated.
When you graduated.
At the moment.
Now that was a feeling for you to remember that. That felt good. What about you, man? Give me one good memory.
Well, Mr. Good memories. So what is one good memory?
You mean to tell me you can't just shoot a good memory?
Yeah,
engulfed in negativity that you don't got one good memory.
I guess
Not I guess. I ain't asking for guess. I'm talking about I want you to be sure. Yeah, this was it.
When I went to Massachusetts.
What you do in Massachusetts? Just being there made you happy. All right, cool. Being in Massachusetts. What about you? What about Sister Angela's and Elder Nestor? Give me one good memory. I know.
With my children.
There you go. There you go.
With me, when I got my bachelor's degree, and I celebrated with my husband and my family, I was just so elated because I really worked hard to achieve that. so that I could move up in the corporate America. So I got my picture on my mantle. On the way going, I'm standing up there with my. So I was
Beautiful. Praise Yah. So let me ask this question. Is that memory strong enough to supersede any negativity that comes your way? See, that's the memory. See, the memory that makes you feel good, that's the memory. That any negativity come your way, you can go, yeah, but this happened. You understand? Yes, sir.
I just thought about it now. When I see my family after the funeral.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good feeling, wasn't it? Yeah. Is it good enough to supersede any negative feelings?
Well, I had
Is this a yes or no?
no.
Okay. Well, then you need to find one that's good that'll supersede the negative feelings. See, as long as we're alive, negativity is not going to not be in our lives. We're always going to have something negative happen to us. As a matter of fact, it's going to go into a lesson that y'all I want to deal with. Unless are there any more testimonies? Yes, ma'am.
She needs to give her things about what made her happy.
Okay. Well, beautiful. What makes you happy?
Come on now. Today's
Come on, mama.
It'll make you happy. You got your own mind. You don't have to explain. Think of something that makes you really happy. Not all day long now.
See, the purpose of this is sort of an exercise. It's to help us to generate thoughts or to have something generated so that when negative thoughts come in, you think like, okay, I remember this.
You got one.
Okay. Other people? Okay. So there are other people that you've been around and make you happy. All right. Very good. Very good. Thank you for sharing. But I want us to do this exercise because for one, we all are dealing with something that's really heavy. Dealing with something that the average person probably will fold at. And see, that's the thing. Shabbat shalom, my brother. Man, praise Yahweh, bless. See how it light up?
Yeah.
Man, I love it. My brother came in, praise Yahweh. Man, I gotta talk to you about something too, brother. Yes, sir. Get a chance. So let me say this: that negativity is always gonna be there. That's what it is. But what I want us to do is, if you didn't think of anything now, I want us to start thinking of things when we get home later about things that make us feel good. If you don't already have a journal, get a journal. And in your journal, you don't have to sit there and write down, you know what I'm saying? You write down what you want to write down. Your journal is like your punching bag. You open your journal, you don't have to have a direction. You can open your journal sideways and start writing. You can open your journal and take a page out and just rip it. You can open your journal and draw happy faces. You can open your journal and spit on the page if you want to. You that mad. Spit that pit. It's your journal. Use that to get things off. But then make sure you got enough room in your journal so you can hold down and write a lot of the positive things that happen. Yeah, I was dating this girl, but she clowned me. Next page. But you know what though? That was cool though, cause I talked to a friend. So, you know, she clowned me, but at least I got some biscuits out of it. You know, she can cook. That girl can cook. So it's things like that. You, for every negative, write a positive. That page that you spit on because you were just you're too angry to write. You just open the book and put it. Some people say, brother Michael, that's disgusting. Well, that's your journal. You do what you want to with it. Don't nobody else got to touch it. But then you take that page that you done spit on and you try to separate the paper and you write something positive. Like, even though that peed me off, I'm home. I'm about to eat my favorite dinner. I'm about to take me a bath. You understand? Something positive. Because I'm going to tell you why that's so important. Because if we focus only on negative, then it's going to take away from us appreciating the positive that Yahweh does for us. If all I do is focus in on, let me tell you something. And I'm being totally transparent. I'm a money guy. Money. That'd be on my money. My wife's birthday is next week, plus Mother's Day. So it's like, y'all blessed us with a new home, and my wife is so adorable. She got this little baby face that she give when she kind of disappointed. So it'll be like, oh man. So, outside of trying to do something strange for a little piece of change, I'm stressed. Like, oh, what I'm gonna do for my wife? And praise Yahweh, I got some, something planned. But I talked to her yesterday. I said, because she has an appointment. I said, well, baby, it has to be done before 11. She was like, oh, we doing something for my birthday? I looked at her like, why would you think we wouldn't? If we ain't do nothing but go to Parky's Farm and look at animals, and I made you a cupcake, we gonna do something because you do something for everybody else. But even if you didn't, it's your birthday. So because my money may not be how it was, like yesterday, I was driving, and and this is what helped me. This is what I think will help us get over road rage. I was driving yesterday, and I'm behind this car, and I'm going, and I'm listening to podcasts, and I'm driving, and this car gets in front of me. And what irritates me is when they get in front of you and then they go slow. Like, you could have just waited till I passed if you was going to do it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he gets in front of me, and I'm zooming. Well, I ain't zooming, but I'm zooming. I'm fast. I'm a fast driver. So I'm driving. So instead of me going, oh my gosh, and letting it ruin my whole day, I thought of it like this: like, you know what? This person slowed down in front of me because I was going too fast. I need to catch my breath. So let me catch my breath. So then that way, when I get to where I need to be, I can build momentum. And that helped me. That helped me for that day. That helped me. That helped me. And then it happened to me again. Then I was thinking about too, another thing that helps is when the biggest thing, one of the biggest stressors in a lot of our lives, I said one of, not the, but one of, is traffic. You ever been in a hurry and you see a car, and it used to irritate me when cars would get off the ramp to merge and they'll go past me just to go further up, just to get further. And I used to be in my lane like, why can't you just get over? Now you don't block traffic, now this and that. No, I had to stop and think. Why am I mad? Because this person wants to move further than I was willing to go. Then I attribute that to life. We get mad at people who want to do better because they chose not to just get in the lane. They chose to find a faster way to get to where they're going. So instead of me hating on you, how about I appreciate that fact and maybe practice it myself? So then that way, when I get behind you, we both trying to get there. Instead of me just being scared and being like, let me hurry up and get this little space here. Here it is. And now you zoom past me and getting you 5 cars ahead of me. You could have gotten, no, you do what you felt you need to do. And I attribute that to life. When it comes to certain things, we are so afraid. And maybe that's a reason why a lot of times too, we hold on to stuff because deep down we are afraid to let it go. Sometimes misery is a great bedfellow, especially if you're used to holding on to it for so long. Think about it. You in a bad relationship. Isn't it easy to just cut people off? I'm asking, isn't that an easy trait to do? You could just be like, I don't want to deal with you no more. But why don't we do it? Because we are afraid of either being alone. That's number one. Number two, there was a young lady I was talking to. She was arguing. We had a cookout for the students, and she was sitting there. She cussed out her boyfriend, called him an ugly this. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I sit next to her, and she's in tears. And I'm like, why are you with him? I didn't ask no Freud question. I just, why are you with him? I said, you're beautiful. Why are you doing this? She was sitting there just miserable. I said to her, let me ask you a question. Why you put up with that? I mean, she's mean, but he's immature. Some people just ain't ready for girlfriends. Don't need a girlfriend. Get yourself together first. Right? But they together, and they're my MD students. So I was like, hey, why are you with him? I said, do you not think anybody else would want you? And she looked at me and said, yeah. She don't think anybody else would want her. I said, no, you're beautiful. Anybody will be happy to have you. I didn't tell her this part. I was like, anybody that can deal with you yelling at them and cussing them out and all that. Oh, man, you're a blessing. You're beautiful. But we hold on to misery so much that we don't stop and think like, dang, maybe I can let go of this. And sometimes the reason misery keeps following us is because we haven't all the way detached from it. There's some things dealing with misery that we're just not going to get closure on. I hope we know that. There are some things like I can go to this person all day and talk to them and say, hey, man, you're making me miserable. And they may not listen to me. But what I need to be strong enough to do is this. I need to detach from it. Because nothing can get back in my life if I don't open the door for it. Inadvertently, we open the door for misery. Because once it's gone, right? I want you sisters to school me. You get with a man that ain't no good. That R. Kelly song when a woman fed up. When y'all get fed up with a man, y'all through, aren't you? Y'all will put up with hell and high water with this man. I don't care if he a minister or a deacon or whatever. When that man gets you to that point where, like, you know what? When a woman look at her man and say, you is a bitch, you through. You don't put up with this man's lying, his cheating, his cussing you out, his rape, you just being totally you don't put up with all that. And this man may be good in the boudoir. And that might be enough for you to hold on to him, but eventually even that ain't enough. You go up to him and be like, Tyrone, Ezekiel Johnson, I am done. And then Tyrone will go and try to use his masculine woes to get you like, oh, baby, you tripping. Come on, baby. You know. She means nothing to me, baby. I mean, we just friends. You know what I'm saying? You see, it wasn't really me in the picture. See, baby, I've been going through a lot. And eventually you as the woman will go, I'm done. Get out my house. Your stuff will be packed. Get out. You done, right? And if you've been hurt deep enough, you're not going to want to return back to that. You're going to say, you know what? I'm good. I can't deal with this no more. That's how we need to treat just about all the issues that we have, the misery in our lives. If there's certain miseries in our lives, we need to find a way to get peace and to not deal with that anymore, so that we don't have to let it in. And you know what I want us to also do is realize that maybe I let it in because I love misery. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel relevant. Because as long as I can walk around with a sad face, maybe I'm so down in my esteem, I want people to ask me what's wrong. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I want to hold on to misery because I want people to see me sad. Maybe I just feel that I'm so uninteresting that if I don't talk about how miserable I am, no one's going to talk to me. Maybe that's what it is. You understand? Yes, Sister Angela.
Yeah, but going back to what I was saying about how I feel like this particular problem sought me out.
Right.
It wasn't that I was holding on to it.
Mhm.
I mean, I got to the point where, like I said, this resurfaced like 4 or 5 years later. I let it go. I moved, changed address, changed phone number, and somehow this particular problem found my phone number. Somehow, because first they contacted me by mail, but I had moved.
Mm-hmm.
So what they were trying to send to me got sent back to them. But how they got my phone number, they found it somehow. And now, 4 or 5 years later, this problem that I thought was done and over with
It's back.
is resurfacing. And I'm not going to allow myself to keep getting hurt by this situation. So, I've prayed on it. I need to pray some more. And hopefully this will be out of my life for good. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see this coming.
Mm-hmm.
This phone call came while I was at work, minding my business, doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
And this phone call just came out of nowhere. And now the situation is getting a little ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I got to step away from it. I got to focus on more important things like my health, my family. I don't have time for something that I put in the past a long time ago. But it's just crazy because how it just, I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't trying to hold on to it, but it found me. And I got enough going on in my life to be dealing with something like that for people that are just evil and just trying to hurt me. And I question, why am I going through this? Why? Just, it's kind of like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Like, how you get my number? Why you calling me? Just leave me alone.
And what's deep is that even if the person moves to Timbuktu, if I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna find you.
Yeah.
So what you gonna do? You gonna keep running? You have to go to the moon.
Yeah.
Then they'll find a way to come to the moon.
I mean, I could call these people and tell them, look, I don't want nothing to do with it. Leave me alone. Don't call me no more. Don't send me no dang on letters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could do that. I could definitely call them and tell them that.
Mm-hmm. So what happens?
Well, I'll probably do it again.
See, and what's deep is look how simple that solution is. Because what, I'm gonna tell you something. Like I would tell anyone that's in a relationship, when you truly done with a guy or with a woman, don't give them any inkling that there's even a chance. You have to be totally done. Like you got to tell them, don't call me, don't text me, don't send me no teddy bears, don't come bringing me nothing to eat. I don't want nothing that your mama made. I don't want nothing your cousin made. Don't not get you just got to cut it off. I'm deleting you from my life. But sometimes we don't delete certain things all the way from our lives. Not to say you want to hold on to it, but sometimes there's a part of us, for some reason, we hold on to it. Just like you ever been, let me say this. You ever been in somebody's house and just seen something on the floor and they just come in the house and they walk over it? Just pick it up, man. Just get it up off the It ain't hurt nobody. You ever, man, if you don't get that, sometimes like this, you ever walk in something or in somebody's car and it's just on the floor. This is on the floor. And it don't get picked up unless you pick it up. That's how it is. It's not that I want it there, but sometimes I just don't want it. I don't know why I don't get it. That's how we got to treat everything. Man, you see this? This is it ain't bothering nobody else. Well, you know, it should bother you. Because that's, you know. But yeah. Let people know, yo, I'm serious. Don't bother me. And another thing that I tell people, especially in relationships, is don't joke about it. Be serious.
Yeah.
You know, he want to play like, oh, girl, tickling you. You stand there stern, like, what is you doing? I'm serious. The next step is I'm calling my cousins. You don't want Big Tony at your face, do you? Because he don't like you anyway. Oh, you on that? Yeah, I'm on that. Because we have a tendency not to take things serious. We are people that don't believe poop stink until you put it in our face. And sometimes you got to put it in our face and let it be known, like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't care what you do, what you say, I'm done. I don't want nothing to do with you. You understand? Yes, ma'am, sister.
Yeah, because with some people, they just don't get the message. You gotta let them know, hey, this is how it's gonna be, and this is what it is, and this is what's gonna happen if this continues. Just point blank.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we don't, because I've been in relationships where, you know what I'm saying, like, hell, I mean, I'm not gonna say I was the victim. I don't like people to always be like, I was the victim. Everybody hated me. Nobody loved. No, I was the one that was a victimizer. And when the woman was done, she was done. And I knew it. I was like, all right. I just have to move on and learn from this. Yes, ma'am, Elder.
I don't know whether this would work, but what I would tell any individual that's bothering me, I want to be bothered. Look, you did this, you done sent a letter, you done called, and I'm making a note. I'm documenting all of these times that I'm telling you, leave me alone. And if you don't, I'm gonna be filing some charges of harassment, because that is harassment.
That is.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know, it's beautiful that you say that, and then to let it be known too, like, just a sidebar, whether you believe it or not, we got your back in here. So you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to know y'all don't have to deal with these things alone. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't got to know all the business unless you want to tell us, but we got your back in here. We ain't gonna be no people messing with us. You know what I'm saying? And I understand, you know, like, you know, because if somebody is, you know, it should be like that in a sense. Like, we ain't talking about protecting people that's doing wrong, but if somebody messing with you, right, hey, they messing with everybody in here. It's not just you.
I don't have to keep on. I only have to tell them one time.
Yeah.
They get the message.
That's right. Now,
Greg go back and forth with you.
What did Nehemiah tell the people when they kept trying to go into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day to sell wares? He was like, look, they got to a point, okay, we ain't coming into Jerusalem, but I tell you what we will do is we'll just stand out front of the gate as the people come in. He said, look, man, look, man, y'all got to move. I'm just paraphrasing. He said, look, man, the next step is I'm going to have to put hands on you. And guess what? They didn't come back. You understand? They respected the space. They ain't come back. Sometimes you got to throw it out there and put it on the table like, boom. Now what? Yes, sister.
Yeah, I just wanted to just add something.
Sure, yes, ma'am.
Okay, the situation that I've been, I actually explained this to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, there's a middleman between
always the middleman.
me and the problem.
Yep.
The middleman is the one that sought me out and is telling me what the problem is doing. and they call themselves trying to, I guess, sympathize with me. But with the problem doing ain't right, so I needed to let you know what's going on. But I feel like, I don't know you like that. I don't think you have my back like that. You
Mhm.
claim to, sympathize with me because you think what the problem doing is wrong, but yet, are you really concerned about me, or are you doing this for them?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I could definitely block their calls, refuse their mail. But yeah, it's that middleman and it claim to be, I guess, sympathetic with me because
Right.
of what they're doing. But
Right.
Okay. It sounds like that middleman is the problem.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah.
that middleman is your problem.
Mm-hmm. Because the thing is that
Keep going back and forth, and that middle person is that problem, is that snake.
and you know what? You don't need that stress at
No,
all.
you don't.
You don't need that stress at all. And I'm telling you, knowing firsthand, that you don't need that stress at all. And it seems like the best way to do it is, that middleman gets cut off. I ain't even gonna entertain your call. Don't text me, don't call me, don't say hi to me. You see me on the street, act like you don't know me, act like I'm a shadow. You know what I'm saying? And no, hey, no, we ain't talking, we ain't cool. Because ain't no telling what this middle person is going back and telling this person if they got contact with them. You know what I'm saying? They probably in your ear like, girl, it ain't right what's happening to you. And then go to him and be like, man, she treat you wrong, man. And keeping the mess going. Like yesterday, there was a young lady. The young lady I was talking to, she came up to me. She said, Mr. Israel, I need to talk to you. I said, okay, what's up? I said, so she says, I need to talk to you in private. And then the other little girl that was standing there, she said, are you talking about me? And then they went at it. And I had to break that up. And I said, who told you that this girl did what she said she did? She said, this girl over here. I said, this miserable. I said, why would you listen to her? The middleman is the one that's like, no, I'm just saying. I said, why would you do to her what you got mad at her doing to you? She like, but Mr. I was like, you know what? She wanted misery. And then what type of, I don't know the guy, but what type of feminine, I'm sorry, nothing against the woman, but that's some stuff you will hear women doing. Like, hey, such and such said. But I mean, you tell him, you be a man, and you tell her. And if you like, and he like, well, she don't talk to me. Then you be a man and be like, well, she ain't gonna talk to you then. Don't put me in it. You understand? I don't want to be involved in it because I'm trying to be cool with her. I ain't trying to be in the middle of it. You be a man and you confront her. Why you hiding behind me? And you supposed to be a man. Yes, ma'am.
okay, but this middleman, and I probably just kind of share kind of off. But anyway, this middleman is not just your regular person off the street. And I'm not gonna give too much information, but the middleman is a lawyer, is a law office. That's the middleman. And going back and forth between me and the problem or problems.
That's even worse.
Well, let me ask this question. Is this middleman saying that any lawsuits or anything are against you?
They're not lawsuits against me. It's more just it's evil people trying to get back at me.
Okay, so in that, if there are no lawsuits involved, then we don't need to communicate then. There's no purpose for us talking because you're adding stress to me. If I didn't do anything wrong, if there are no charges up on me, then guess what? You and that person need to work out what you're doing because I'm done. Don't call me, don't send me nothing. Because now, like Elder said, now you're harassing me And if I'm not being sued, or if there's nothing where you're looking to garnish anything, then we don't need to talk anymore.
No, this has nothing to do with that. It's just people they just hate me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you,
Evil.
but I'm gonna tell you this, and I mean this with all the love. As long as, and I'm gonna generalize it, as long as we keep entertaining the conversations, they're gonna keep doing what they're doing. If I don't owe nothing, if I don't need to give you nothing, you just bothering me because they bothered, so they want to be. Then guess what? We're done. Conversation over. I understand that this person might be a law office, but they ain't Yahweh. So if you ain't got nothing on me, then we don't need to talk no more. You don't need that, like I said, because of what you're dealing with, without saying anything. Stress on top of stress, that's not a good combination. And if all you're doing to me is I'm sitting there, I'm at work, I'm minding my business, I'm trying to do what I do, and then you calling me and you playing middleman, then guess what? You don't got to play middleman no more. You can be the front runner for this person, because I'm done. I'm done. Because as long as every time I answer the call, every time I answer a text, that gives them more fuel to keep the fire going. In order for me to kill that fire, I gotta smother it. I gotta take it, because when you dealing with any type of fire, you smother it, and that's how you kill it, by drawing the oxygen away from it. You take that oxygen away from that situation, and how you do that is, I'm not talking about physically strangle nobody. What I'm saying is, how you take that away is you don't give it its energy no more. You text me, the last thing I text you that I'll text you is this: you're harassing me. We're done. Don't call me. Don't do none of that. If they respond back like but don't respond back. You block their number and keep it moving. Because if you know what I'm saying, they'll know that they're blocked. And then if they try to call you from another number, now I'm not gonna say nothing to you. You're just gonna have this knocking at your door with a warrant. Because now I got proof that you have been harassing me, and I cut it off. Because life is too short for us to be dealing with BS. Now, if you don't have no business with me, then guess what? We're done. We're done. And I want to read another. Hannah sent in a message saying, "My good thought is my daughter." Earlier, we had a conversation on what's the one good thing in our lives that we can hold on to when negative comes in. And Hannah said, "My good thought is my daughter. She reminds me to not let the bad thoughts take over." That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. My good thing is I got so many, but the birth of my daughter, birth of both my daughters, and how I'm accepted in my family now. You understand? Prior to me, my wife had 3 girls, and they look at me as Abba. And these are grown women. I mean, grown women, except for Takari. But I'm blessed. I really realized how blessed I was when I was sick. It ain't nothing like having somebody there. Like, I know some people that's like, I love being alone. I like being by myself. Why? Why do you want to be by yourself? Because, there's no temptations. Temptation is going to come whether you by yourself or with a crowd. Ain't nothing worse than being a man and you lonely. You ever been a lonely man? You can only hug that teddy bear for so many times until you need that touch of a woman. Now you find yourself doing a little crazy stuff. Now you looking in people's windows, and you know what I'm saying. You hide behind mannequins and, "Sir, where are your hands?" You're going in department stores with no pants on and a coat on, standing behind a mannequin. There was a report some years ago. Do y'all remember this man? He went into, I want to say it was a Target or a Walmart, and he did something inappropriate to the little the little snowman. He was in the store with the little snowman doll. Getting busy. But and they stopped him because he was about to go to the moose. That's the individuals that love being alone, being by themselves. Like, I love being alone. I bet you do. It was, but being alone helps aid in that mental. When you always by yourself, whether it's by choice, when you it's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to have the moments. But man, it's not meant to be that way. You need companionship. You need love. It ain't nothing like finding somebody. It ain't nothing like it. I'm saying this because I went through something that changed my life. And I don't think I could have went through it alone.
But I think some people are meant to be by themselves because they don't know how to treat others.
Well, see, that's not that they meant to be. It's just that they don't know no better.
Right.
So they need to be taught better.
So,
And you only learn by having someone in your life. See, people say all the time, I'm cool by myself, but then they go get cats. Some people say I'm cool by myself, but that's a mental disorder to be like, I'm okay just being alone. Even some of the prophets in the scriptures had people they talked to. You know what I'm saying? And I know people say, well, you got Yahweh. Yes, you have Yahweh. You do. But it's nothing like when you got somebody that's genuinely in your corner. You understand what I'm saying? See, my whole point of saying this is that that goes right along with the kindness attribute that you just taught on. Is being kind. Being kind. Because people say, well, I'm okay being by myself. I'm okay being alone. We ain't talking about just in relationship sense. We ain't talking about just that. Being alone surpasses being in just a relationship. We're talking about period. Why you want to be on the house? Why you want to be the house on the block that kids be like, I dare you go knock on the door? Why you want to be that house? You know what I'm saying? Like, I dare you go, get out of my yard. Like, people who are alone, they might not, they miserable. Because they feel like, man, not to have nobody. I mean, nobody that you can talk to. And you know what? You can always tell, too, how miserable they are. But look, they always look. They'll be the ones that's not real quick about getting out. Sometimes not quick about getting out of situations they should be not involved in. People always, man, I love being by myself. Why? There are certain things you can do by yourself. I get it. I ain't saying you got to be with people all the time. But dang. If I don't want to be with nobody, then I'm saying I don't want to be with the Most High. Because He's with me all the time. All I need is the Almighty. Okay, that's good. Why you walking around here with big hands and big forearms? Because you by yourself. Hands always soft and moisturized because you by yourself. You like that. I'm going to tell you something. You people who like being by yourself, you can have that. Ain't nothing like waking up to something soft and beautiful. Or even if I wasn't married, having somebody I can be like, yo, I can call Shim and be like, hey, Shim, let's go out, man. Let's go to the movies. Let's go do this. Let's go kick it. Somebody I can bounce ideas off of or bounce feelings off of. Being alone, man, let me show y'all something. I'm coming to you first, though. Go ahead, Sister Angela. Turn with me to the book of Ecclesiastes. And then I'm going to actually get into a lesson. Ecclesiastes. Go ahead, Sister Angela.
Okay. I was just sitting here thinking about how some people, I feel, need to be alone. What about people who have been accused of molestation, rape?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that they deserve to have someone?
To be honest with you, I would be very arrogant to give an answer to that question because it's not up to me. Because we've all done things in our life that is worthy of death. But does that mean we got the right to be alone? That's a judgment call for the Most High to make. I can't say they deserve somebody or they don't deserve somebody. That's not for me to judge. That's for the Almighty to make that call. But let's say I go and say, hey, they don't deserve nobody. But then that means that, okay, well, what if they didn't molest nobody or rape nobody? What if they were homosexuals? That's unnatural. That's wicked. But what if they were murderers? What if they're thieves? What if they're liars? Do they deserve to be alone? I can't make that call. Because the Almighty lays that final judgment. And if someone chooses to be with that person, if the Almighty brings it to them, then that's between them and the Almighty. But we've all done things that we deserve to be dead for and don't deserve the blessings that we get. But I'm not standing up here saying that, okay, it's cool to be this or to be a molester, a rapist or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. That's total wickedness. But what I'm saying is that for me to say, no, this person who's a rapist don't deserve nobody, that's very arrogant of me. Because the Almighty could look at me and say, you know what, you're right. You know what, brother, you're saying that this person don't deserve nobody. Why do you deserve somebody? You might not have raped no one, but look at what you did in your life. Look at what you did in your life. And I gave you somebody. If Yahweh chooses to give that person mercy, that's something that Yahweh makes that judgment call on. I don't have the right to do that. And let me say this, I'm not saying that I'm for it, but I can't tell nobody, I can't say you don't deserve because I had nothing to, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that power. And then, people change.
Ezekiel 18.
You said what now?
And then Ezekiel 18, what Almighty said.
Oh.
That's
right.
If you do what's right, that person might turn from all his molesting kids or whatever.
That's what we read in your presentation, was Ezekiel 18. See, sometimes we'll get into the point of saying, hey, the one thing that we do, the one thing that I think that we do that's really jacked up is we're so quick to be the judge and executioner, but we forget about the steps that we once took. That's why when you hear in scriptures and King and the King David talking, man, I thought on my own self, thought on my own ways. Now, does it make it right what they did? No. Does it justify it? No, it doesn't. But Yahweh is the final judge. And we're in a position now that we can't exact execution. Because in scripture, when we had our own land and we had our own government, those were the laws that were worthy of execution, up there with murder, rape. Molestation is a form of rape. Those were things that were worthy of death. So when that person was brought up on those charges and it was found they did it, they didn't have to worry about getting somebody else in their life. They were gone. You understand? But in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, I want to read something real quick. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9, it reads, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, The one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth. It says, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they will have heat. Then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And the threefold cord is not quickly broken. Now, check this out. If you choose to be alone, or you choose to be a lonely person, then guess what? That's what you choose. Is it good to be alone? No, the Almighty says it's not good for man to be alone. It's not good. Because then when you're alone, most of the time, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to throw this out there. I think some people like being alone so they don't have to be called on their bull crap. So instead of facing responsibility for your actions, it's better for me to just be alone. Because then I can kind of do what I want to do. And I'm my own judge and executioner. And I'm not going to judge and execute myself. So it's better for me to be by myself. It's just easier that way, right? It's easier to deal with my imperfections because then I can sweep them under the rug and don't have to worry about it. As opposed to having somebody in my life that's a good friend that's telling me, man, you wrong. Sister, you wrong. See, I don't need that. I don't want that. I like being by myself. I like walking my own path. That way, if I slip and fall on my path, I can tell people I did it on purpose. I meant to do that. Instead of somebody calling it what it is. Think about Job for a second. You think Job could have, now I know, well, no, I'm going to use that, Job. Job had some very influential, very prosperous friends that came to his aid and just sat with him. Sometimes when you got somebody there for you, I was listening to this gentleman, his name is Justin Wilson. This is there. Not like I'm here, but to be like I'm here for you. Sometimes when somebody's going through something, they don't always need you to come here, let me hold you. Oh, let me wipe your tears. Sometimes they just need somebody there, just to be there. I tell my students, if you need to cuss, go off, do what you need to do, go ahead. I'll just listen if you want me to listen. Sometimes that's all we need. But it's always good to have somebody. It's always good for that. Yes, sir.
You know, I'm just thinking about it. Never mind.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, Sister Angela.
You know, yeah, I agree. It is good to have somebody, but with so many wicked people in the world, you don't want to settle for somebody. I mean, in this day and age, you have to be picky because, like I said, it is just so many people out here that's just no good. So if you have to be by yourself for a while, and a while could be months, years, until the Almighty decides to send you that right person, then that's just going to have to accept it. That's just the way it's going to be. Because you definitely don't want to settle. And so many of us have done that, and we ended up getting hurt, you know, behind it. And we definitely don't want to go down that road again. You know, so you have to, you know, sometimes just be by yourself. And if it's meant to be, then Almighty will send you that person. You'll know. Yeah. But, you know, a lot of people get into relationship marriages and they know the person they with is not right for them. That person has already showed you signs time and time again that they are not right. But a lot of us choose to ignore it and we stay with the person anyway, only to be miserable. So, I mean, I agree that, you know, it's good to have someone, but, you know, you just don't want to just pick anybody. You got to make sure that person is sent by the Almighty and they're the right one for you.
Well, let me ask this question. This is for all those who feel that way. Raise your hands if your walk is perfect with the Almighty. Just raise your hand. You don't have no wickedness in you at all. Now, Brother Michael, why are you going there? Because I think that's sort of an excuse. Because not one time did I say you got to just pick anybody. And I wasn't just dealing with boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. See, when people talk about it's better to be alone, it's generalized. See, the thing is that nobody we get with is going to be perfect. Not in the, let me say this. Yahweh is the one that decides who's perfect and who's not me. A lot of my friends, praise Yahweh, a lot of my friends or people I call friends, they smoke weed, they sleep around, they do a lot of wickedness. But when it comes to, when people say it's better to be alone, the only time we really address it is when we're dealing with a relationship in the sense of an intimate. Well, not even just intimate, because even if we're friends, we have an intimate relationship. But we deal in it in the sense of who I share my bed with. Who we share our bed with, of course. But also it ain't just got to be my bed, it's who I share my table with as well. If I share my table with you, I got to be choicey. I got to pick my friends wisely. But just to say it's better for me not to have nobody than to be around wickedness, then I might as well not be around myself. Because I'm just as wicked in dealing with a lot of things. I mean, I'm not saying this for anybody to be like, yeah, you're right, brother. I'm saying it because I'm throwing that fact out there. Because what I had to learn was that I had to take self-accountability. In order to be a friend, I have to be friendly. I can't expect people to accept me for who I am, especially if who I am ain't all the way right. So I got to be a certain way. So for me to have friends, I have to be friendly. You dig what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is that what I want us to do is I just want us to listen. To listen. I'm not debating. I just want us to listen. What I want us to consider is that when it comes to us finding either it's a mate or friendship, in order for me to have good, I got to be willing to give it. And if I've given my good to a-holes, then that's not this next person's fault. That was my fault because I didn't have to give it to them. And let's deal with relationships. How about we stop playing house? How about we do that? How about we stop laying with these guys and laying with these women without being married to them and expecting them to be good to you? How about we stop with that? We want to blame the Almighty for everything. We want to say, Yahweh, it's your fault. Last week, we had a really great conversation on marriage. We want to blame the Almighty for everything. We blame marriage. Marriage is the reason why I divorced. Marriage is the reason why I had to pay alimony. No, marriage had nothing to do with it. It was the individual you was with that had something to do with it. But what do? We get into them woes and them, oh, Yahweh, you just have to understand. I'm a woman. I'm a man. I got urges. Well, guess what? You answer them urges, you're going to have to deal with what comes up from that urge. So it's not that, it's the thing that I want us to just take time and realize is that we truly need each other. And if you choose to walk around, and I know it's prophets in here that was like, look at these prophets. They ain't had nobody. How do we know? How do we know? All we doing is reading the scriptures to say that this prophet was this and that. How do we know he didn't have friends? He had family. He came from somewhere. So he had brothers or sisters. He had a mother. He had a father. He had somebody. So, if you on a path of, and then here's the thing too, that a young man shared with me. On his road, or someone shared with me on his road to righteousness. If you go into a Knesset and you're not comfortable in that Knesset, but your walk is geared toward doing what's right, but you're still not comfortable, then it's not your fault. That's the congregation's fault. That's the minister's fault. Why does young sister or this young man feel uncomfortable and all they want to do is the right thing? That means we're so busy doing the wrong thing, obviously. So let me check me. It ain't about you no more. It's about me, and it's about the congregation. You dig what I'm saying? So what the reason for me saying these things is because I want to let the world know that when it talks about in the book of Zephaniah, gather thyself together. I ain't talking about just meeting at a Bible class or going to Bible conferences. Gathering is every day. Call your brother, call your sister. We only want to call each other when Day of Atonement come around. Day of Atonement come around. Hey man, I want to tell you if I offended you. If you offended me, then you would know. Don't hit me with no if. And the Day of Atonement ain't for you to call me. The Day of Atonement is not for you to call me. The Day of Atonement is established for you to ask for forgiveness from Yahweh, to receive an atonement from the Almighty, not me. If you offended me, you don't wait till the year comes. There's no sense in the well, I'm gonna wait till the year of Jubilee before I apologize. No, you apologize when you know you did wrong, because you're not guaranteed the next year. So I'm here today, whoever listening, when the Day of Atonement come around, don't text me, don't call me, don't see me in the street and say, no, if I offended you, if you offended me, why you wait till today? You saw me months ago. But you're going to wait till today to say, well, brother, I want to say, I apologize if I offended you. You know you offended me. And why would you wait until now to do it? Call me the day you felt it, like, you know what? I offended that brother. Because if I offend you, number one, I know I did in some cases. But if I offend you, I'm not going to wait till no Day of Atonement and pull you to the side. Hey, man, I want to tell you, man. Breath stinking from fasting. Man, I want to tell you, man. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I offended you, man. I didn't mean to. Thank you for the tears, but why you wait till now to tell me this? What if I didn't make it to this? You mean to tell me you okay with going to the grave, not fixing what happened with us? So my whole point in this conversation is I'm not getting into a debate. I'm not going to go back and forth about it, but I want us to know that it's okay for us to have people in our lives. Now, I do agree with my sister. You don't just have everybody in your life. I totally agree with that. Even family members, because there's some family members that's worse than strangers. But I'm here to tell you, don't shut yourself down because we say it's too much wickedness in the world. There's a lot of wickedness in the world. Hell, it was wickedness on your way here. It was wickedness in the car with us. But because we chose not to address wickedness, but to focus on what's righteous, is the reason why we walked into these doors. The reason why I'm sitting here. The reason why I'm listening. I know y'all out there got temptations. Y'all at home, some of y'all listening from home. And I know it's people, if you're in an apartment or a house and you got the babies running around, you know it's nice outside, so probably somebody hitting the grill and you hearing, let me be happy. And you hearing all this music and jamming, and you in the house like, man, them ribs smell good, man. When they over there grilling and barbecuing, weed smoke all over the place, and you just sitting in the house mad like, man, this damn brother. Let me go make me another sandwich. You understand? We are all faced with evil. Hey, sweetie. We're all faced with evil and wickedness. But if I was to say it's too much wickedness in the world, I wouldn't have anyone I could call a friend. If I was to go, it's nothing but wickedness in this world, guess what? I wouldn't be talking to you. When you came up and talked about scripture, I'd have been like, it's too much wickedness in the world. I don't want to be bothered with you. But I didn't. Everybody deserves a chance until you show me your true colors. That's all I'm saying. We need each other. When my mother passed, it made me feel good that, you know what I'm saying, at any given moment, I could call my elder. I could call Marie. She'd probably be like, who is this? I'd be like, it's Brother Michael. I know you. I could call my man back there. I could call him. And my brother back here, he ain't the type that'll just, you know, pick up. If I be like, brother, can we just, he'll come in, all right, man, I'll come and get you. Let me find a babysitter. Let me find a babysitter and I'll come and get you. And and this young man, he was one of my youth students. I'm gonna tell you something. One day, I know he remembers it, but it was one. I was a choir director. I was a choir director. Well, I'm gonna say how Moray Dance. He said, I want you to be the conductor. So I was a choir conductor. So in memory of my great elder. But one night, you know, I had devised, I wanted to put together these contracts because when I do something, I want a paper trail and I want it done because if I don't take it serious, then the people won't take it serious. This ain't we just getting together to sing. No, we're singing to the Almighty and it's something for real, for real. So I had contracts. I wrote out the contracts. Everybody could read the contract and they could be like, I don't want to do it. But if you sign on it, that means you okay with the rules. Well, there was one individual that wasn't, out of a few. And one night, I had enough. I'm the choir conductor. They bring in somebody else to do the choir. And I'm like, wait a minute. I wasn't called or none of that. Nobody called me. But you know what? I still went in there like, okay, because I knew who he was. I knew him. I knew the brother. You know, he was a fire flaming dude, but I knew him. He was cool peoples. So I was like, okay, he knew his stuff. But you still show respect. Like, hey, brother, is it okay if we bring in this person because he can help? But they didn't do it. And I come to practice and I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So then I'm in the back working the controls and it's time to end the choir rehearsal. So I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to end it. I got totally ignored. And the sister said to him, okay, what are we going to do next? Skits. I was pissed, but that wasn't the thing that did it. I called everybody. We had a meeting. My brother was there. His mom was there, Sister Tamar. And I said, and I'm on the podium and I'm talking to him. I'm like, hey, guys, we need to do X, Y, and Z. You know, this is what we need to do. And I'm talking and trying to communicate to him. And I tell him, this is what I learned about Israel. I told Israel, I said, Israel, you don't have to do it. But you're not going to get up here and be part of the choir. Just think you ain't going to come to practice. Where they do that at? Not, especially not the kind of directors that I had coming up under Brother Dawid and Sister Alina. They didn't have that. So I wasn't going to be different. I came up under some good teachers. So anyway, I'm talking. Your mom is sitting in the audience. I'm talking. This person gets up in the midst of me talking and starts a conversation with your mom. At that point, I said to HE double hockey sticks, get the H out. I'm going off. I mean, I am fuming at this point. And then the elder at that time, the one elder, which was her family, came to me and said, brother, you wrong. I kept telling him, I said, brother, leave me alone. Let me have it. No, I'm just saying. You have to realize that if there's a spark, don't fume it with more gasoline. Just walk away from it and try to avoid it. That's all you got to do. That don't make you a punk. That don't make you soft. That makes you wise. You walk away from it. I was a spark and I became a flaming fire. It was horrible what I did. But this brother here came to me and was like, Brother Michael, he didn't judge me. Now, this young man's way younger than me. He didn't judge me, came to me and said, you all right, man? He checked on me. Ever since then, we don't talk as much as we should. But this young man right here, that's my family. That's my family. And that's how I look at it. Next day, we had a meeting. Yo Abba was there, and the elders was there. And this is when I truly had a true connection with Elder Ezekiel. And I'm dealing with kindness right now. I had a true, everybody else was on me. Like, why would you do this? Why was even my great elder was like, well, why would you do this? I'm like, brother, you make rules. Let somebody come in while you teaching and they late and they going around hugging and speaking to people. Don't you go off too? Sit down. Go to fool's class. Like, don't you? You know what I'm saying? But your husband. And this is when I learned. This is when I learned about how he stood alone with Yahweh. Everybody else, my ex-wife was there. I don't even know why they had her there at the time, but she there. And then your father there, and then some other elders, and they sitting there. I had one elder sitting in front of me, lying. I told him I had arthritis, and he still was making me come. I said, you would. In my mind, I could understand why Moses was like, drink ye rebels, because I'm just a conductor of choir. So anyway, your husband said, and they saw the contract and all that, and everybody was like, why would you have him do a contract? Why would you have him do this? Why would you have him do that? And I said, I was wrong. I shouldn't have went off. I was wrong. I shouldn't have lost my spirit that way. But your husband stood up. Your husband said, and just him. And he came, because the elder was coming at me, and he was like, well, don't you have rules? That's all I needed. To have somebody there. And then there was a couple that was there too. They used to go to the Bible class. It's Shia and his wife. They were there. And they said, nah, this is what really went down. So when it comes to having somebody in your corner, you want that. But I also had to realize too that I can't just be the one that reap the benefits of having friends. I have to be one. So that's all my message that I wanted to deliver on that portion. That wasn't actually part of the lesson, but that's what I wanted to deliver, was dealing with that. Like, and I think that the catalyst for the lesson, from what I spoke on, was your lesson in dealing with kindness. Because I can't cuss you out and expect. See, the one thing too that we need to realize too, and which was beautiful about your lesson, is also when we hurt someone. Because let me ask this question: do we have to hurt people? I mean, do I have to hurt your feelings? Do I have to get on your nerve? Do I have to cuss you out? Is that like I have to? Like, is that written in scriptures that thou shall be a rude monkey? Is that in the scriptures? No. So when I do those things, that was based off of what I wanted to do, what I felt that I needed to do. Nothing that I had to do, but I felt I needed to do it. So if I offend someone to the point to where they don't want to speak to me no more, and I go up to them and I'll be like, man, I'm sorry. And they be like, you cool, but I'm good on you. Instead of me being like, but damn, I said I was sorry. Damn, I said I was sorry, man. Man, I apologize. Damn, I said I was sorry. Well, instead of doing that, be like, you know what, I understand. How about I learn from the situation and know not to be that way to nobody else? I need this so I can be better in control of my spirit. And if you ever come around again, we'll be there. If not, I loved you when I still love you. You're still my peoples. We can't offend people and then expect them to get sorry. Just ain't enough sometimes. Sorry isn't enough. Sorry don't fix everything. You hurt a child and you be like, sorry, I'm so sorry. The child got the right to be like, I don't forgive you. Come on, man. You and then we hear this, you forget a white man. Well, the white man don't hurt me like you did. You my brother, you know better. You my sister, you know better. The white man, I don't expect no more than what he's giving me. But I expect a lot from you. What King David said, man, how he felt. Man, it was him in my own house We walked hand in hand to the house of the Almighty together. And he counted, and he treats me like I'm his enemy. Any comments or questions? Yes, sir.
Praise the mighty YAH.
Praise the mighty YAH. Shalom, shalom.
Yeah, that brought back memories. I completely forgot about that. But praise y'all for this lesson, man. It's very good counsel. You hit, multiple different points. One of the things that, that I feel that we should do as a people is we definitely have to consider one another's feelings. And, because nobody does anything perfect, especially when it comes to these laws. We all sinners, we all have our ups and our downs, and we all have things about us that separate us from the Creator.
That's true.
I understand that about everybody, all my people. You know what I mean? But one perspective I try to keep is let me understand this person in and out. You know what I mean? It don't take long to really understand a person upon meeting a person, upon them expressing themselves, and just simply understanding their temperament, the spirit that they possess.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like, I make it my mission and my goal to understand the people around me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to have relationships. As you said, it's important for us to have relationships with one another. Mm-hmm. It's very important. I'm the type, I have a very small circle. I probably got a few friends, and I don't even consider everybody friends. You understand? I look at people like family. You understand? And I understand because you're my family, you're gonna have times to where we may not see eye to eye. We may dislike each other, or you may misinterpret something I say, and I may not have meant it that way. Right. I was just around some family. They come from a completely different area. They come from New York City, and they grew up. The way people grow up has a lot to do with who they are today. And I was around them, we was all chilling, we was kicking it, and I had said something, and I had no idea I had offended them. Mm-hmm. And but I could see it, and I'm like, well, snap, I just said something, I just said the wrong thing. And I'm thinking, because we family, you know what I mean? I could just say anything, like, nah, you have to be careful. And as King Solomon said, whoso keeps his mouth sometimes, you can keep your life.
That's right.
So we have to understand the people around us and understand that, people are going to make mistakes. People are going to make mistakes. And when you understand a person like, man, maybe that person didn't even mean to say it like that, even though that really hurt my feelings. And I really wanted to hit him in the mouth when he said that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe he didn't really come from that place. But when you have multiple occasions to where, okay, this is something that's repetitive, you have to deal with that situation. As the scriptures say, debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, discover not a secret to another. Mm-hmm. You have multiple occasions to where somebody is purposely stepping on your toes, purposely disrespecting you, or purposely being dishonest with you. Whatever it is to hurt that relationship, you have to deal with that. But if it's just one time, and you want to make sure that the people you are around understand your filters and understand what the things you tolerate and the things you don't tolerate.
That's right.
Those things have to be made clear, and oftentimes, we sit right next to each other, but we don't truly understand the people around us. We haven't even taken up time to get to know one another. We just kind of it's like you come into a room, or you come into a classroom, or you come into a job, and you just automatically expect for people to be a certain way, but it's not like that. Everybody is different. Everybody has things going on with them, or maybe they having a bad day, or there's multiple things that multiple reasons why people behave the way that they do. Mm-hmm. But we have the law. The Almighty give us the law for us to look to when these bad times do come. Thou shalt love thy brother as thyself. Have mercy on one another. Have compassion on even the stranger, even the Edomite, for he is thy brother. Have mercy upon an Egyptian. Don't oppress the Egyptians, because you know what it's like to be a slave in Egypt. All of these laws are there to help us, and should be our guiding light when these those times to where you want to let go. You know, and I've been there. You understand? It takes a lot of patience to deal with Yah's people and try to be righteous in this land, period. You know, one of the things I admire about you is you keep it real. You know what I mean? You keep it honest, 100, and you clear about, you're very clear in expressing what you like and what you don't like. You know what I mean? And that makes it easy to love. You understand? And that's how we all should aspire to be. You have to be honest. Even in relationships, I done dealt with prior to me even being married, dealt with individuals that wasn't honest. We have to come to our relationships in honesty. You know, like pure honesty. You can't go into a relationship two-faced or with your representative, as they say. You know, like become honest, man. It's all about honesty. It's all about making yourself clear and people understanding who you are, where you come from, and this is why I act the way I act. You know, so you know I'm enjoying the lesson so far. And actually, I got a dip, but I took some notes on.
Praise
Yahweh. Yeah. I took some notes, and I just appreciate the lesson.
Praise Yahweh.
Yeah.
Praise Yahweh. Hallelujah. Yeah. And we got a message from Bathsheba. Praise Yahweh. Shalom, 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 family. It says shalom, Shabbat shalom, Mishpah, peace and blessings, Israel. So praise Yahweh. And what I want to let it be known too is that when teaching, I teach on on a gambit of things. I don't really I can teach on other religions, I can teach on all that stuff. But I just really wanted to focus in on it was the Yahweh's. It was Yahweh's guidance. But what I want to say is no one should walk away feeling any kind of way. And the one thing that just do this with me. Turn to the book of Proverbs chapter 17, please. Proverbs chapter 17. And then I got a little time before we take break, and I'm going to go into sorrow. Sorrow. All right, in the book of Proverbs chapter 17, let's look at the 17th verse. It reads, "A friend loveth at all times." Now, I don't want anyone to walk away from what I spoke on and say, "Oh, so I just got to have people in my life just to have them." No, pick and choose. Pick and choose. It's your life. It's your circle. You got the right to have in it who you want and who you don't want. But what I'm saying is don't focus on just being alone. Focus on actually being willing to, because a lot of times, the one thing that I had to learn was we're always saying, well, what the other person ain't got, or what the other person ain't doing, or what they ain't doing. Sometimes instead of just being alone till Yahweh finds us somebody, we say, man, I'm going to be alone until I get me right. Because I got to be right. Because it don't matter if Yahweh bring me something awesome. If I ain't right, I'm not going to appreciate it. So what I need to do is, instead of me saying I'm just going to be alone because the world is wicked, I'm going to say, no, let me just work on me. Let me get me right before anybody I let in my space. Because a lot of times it's funny. A lot of times Yahweh got a way of, I like the proverbial mantra of like Yahweh laughs at those who make plans. That's sort of like us. I'm just going to be alone. Yahweh be like, he said he's going to be alone. Wait to see what I do. Wait till what I do. So instead of focusing on it's better for me just to be by myself, you say, no, let me work on me. That's okay. That's okay. And in the meantime, if I choose not to be in relationships, it's not because I feel like I'm better by myself. It's just I want to be a good friend. Because if I expect you to be a good friend, don't I have to offer the same thing? Mm-hmm. That's just like when females be like, I want a man to pay my bills. I want a man to do all this. And I want a man to do all that. And you'd be like, okay, what do you bring to the table? Well, I got this good. Well, you ain't the only woman with the good. There are women with the good that were good cooks. They're good in the house. They're good wives. So you having good ain't enough for me to want you. You understand? Praise Yahweh, Sister Tamar, Shabbat Shalom. Where's your, oh, praise Yahweh. I'll give you the address and everything, Sister Tamar. I will do that. Praise Yahweh. I'll do that before we go on break. Thank you for inquiring. Praise Yahweh. And the one thing too is that I just want us to realize that, because I'm working on being. I'm gonna be honest with you. My wife, Yahweh is using my wife to teach me how to be a good friend. Not that I was a horrible friend, but she's teaching me, like, you know, in order for you to be a friend, you got to be willing to sacrifice sometimes. Your friend needs you. You might need to get up and be like, all right, babe, I'm going to my friend's house because he needs me. You know, I can't always be a friend at my convenience. If I'm just focusing on being your friend at my convenience, then you're not a friend to me. You're just an associate or somebody I know. But a true friend, I have to inconvenience myself sometimes. You think I want to get off from work and go to your house because you dealing with a problem? No, but a friend will. A friend will be like, you know what? I'm going to holler at you. I consider Elijah to be a great friend. I love this young man. Even though he don't listen to me, I can tell him, he'll ask me a question, I give him an answer, and he'll be like, yeah, but what about? You know what? Why you talk to me? He don't even know why he talked to me. But if I needed to talk to Elijah about something, I could be like, Elijah, let me holler at you. He'll be like, go ahead, Brother Mike. Go ahead, Brother Michael. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? But that's what friends do. And I'm sorry that we haven't had good friends in our lives to where we can say, hey, you know, I'm willing to welcome in more friends. But a man should never measure himself by how many friends he has, but how many he keeps. Because that one friend is, sometimes that one friend is worth more than a million friends. You get that one good friend, that's all you need. When you watch these movies, you don't see them walking around with a bunch of guys like The Best Man. It's a few guys named besties. They best of friends. So it's not about quantity. It is about quality. Because I would much rather have one good friend than a bunch of bad ones. Right. So no, I wouldn't ever tell anybody just get a person in your life just to have them. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of life. Who eat at my table? I need to know you gonna sit at my table. You gonna eat on the plate. You ain't gonna drop it on the floor. You ain't gonna use your feet. You gonna eat like a human being or someone civilized. And I'm using that more so metaphorically because I want to know that when you sit at my table, that we brothers and we sisters and we're sincere. I can have a table for a seat of 20 and only fit 2 friends in there, and I'm good. I want that friendship with that David and Jonathan love. I want to be able to say, you know what? I don't look at you as my friend. I look at you deeper than that. You like my brother. But in order for me to say, hey, you like a brother to me, now that means we're going to a whole nother level because now our friendship is a lot deeper than just we cool. I look at him as my brother right there. You know what I'm saying? Praise Yahweh. So now, yes, sir.
Yeah, I would also say sometimes the Almighty will give you. Sometimes friendship, I'm gonna say all the time, it comes from Yahweh. Like when you brought up that situation with David and Jonathan, the way I see that as Yahweh was giving him a gift, David a gift. You know what I mean? Like, man, you're gonna have many enemies, you're gonna have many people against you. I'm gonna give you this one friend, I'm gonna actually take him. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you this friend that's gonna love you truly and sincerely. And man, that's a gift from Yahweh. You know, most of the things that are good, when you say like, man, that just stand out, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, even a grandmother or a mother or father, daughter, it's from Yahweh.
You know what? Praise Yahweh. Yeah. And when I was listening to you, it brought out a fact. And praise Yahweh, Sister Tamar, thank you. Praise Yahweh. But it brought out a fact. I want to ask a question to everyone in here. Do y'all know what love truly is? I mean, do y'all really know what organic love is? And if you do, think about it, share. Do you really know what organic love is? We live in a world, a society of total superficialness. So how can we really have an understanding of what true love truly is? Because if we had true love, I don't think that anyone in this room, and I could be wrong, but I'm gonna go out on a cliff. I don't think anyone in this room could really realize what true love is. Now, Bathsheba, praise Yahweh, typed in, organic love is unconditional love. I respect your wisdom, but organic love is not unconditional. Organic love is not going to let you do whatever you do to it and still love you. Organic love is special. Organic love is there when you ain't even asked for it to be there. Praise Yahweh. That's right, sister Tamar. There are boundaries. There are always boundaries. But I understand what Bathsheba's saying about organic love, and I can understand the understanding behind love is unconditional. No, love isn't unconditional. True organic love comes with conditions. And if I put conditions on my love, that don't mean I don't love you. That means I love me. Because organic love starts with myself. And Bathsheba, praise Yahweh. You didn't have to do it, but I dig it. You're going to explain. So let me read what Bathsheba said. And I appreciate the commentary as well. There's a lot of wisdom out here. Bathsheba said, what I meant is loving someone without saying that I love you. If you do this or that, that's deep. That's a great explanation of organic love. Loving you without expecting anything in return, or doing it, giving you this love without any type of expectation other than loving me back. So I don't think that any of us really know what it feels like to be organically loved. We got a superficial love. You know, you might tell me I'm handsome. I might tell you beautiful. You might show your love through things. But true organic love, is organic love even able to be shown by doing things? Or I mean, not doing things, but by things. Did you know that there's a mental disease called love bombing? You know what love bombing is? It's a psychological disorder. And what love bombing is, go ahead, Sister Maria, then I explain love
I
bombing.
just have a question.
Sure, yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you talk about organic love. What is the difference between love and organic love that people just put in another word in front of love?
That was a beautiful question. That was actually profound. What's the difference? Is it just me putting another word in front of that word? That's very good. So let me explain. Organic love, when you're dealing with organic, is natural, right? It's natural. It's going to naturally happen without any type of, you know what I'm saying? Like without any type of, glitches. And even if it is a glitch, or anything that's organic can actually survive through a glitch. But where if I love you,
that should just be natural. If you love it, if you have love for yourself, of course, everybody should love themselves before
right?
Anybody. You could say, love is natural.
Yes, ma'am.
When people
yes,
put it's different terminology that people use, because basically it's gonna be the same thing. You like say you like organic love. Somebody will say I truly love you, but
right.
when it comes down to it, boy, I can say I love you, brother Michael, and then I can say I organically love you. Basically that love is overpowering the organic love and the truly love.
Okay. And I see what you're saying, Sister Maria. I do, sis. I see what you're saying. And the way I'm looking at it with the organic is, once again, you're dealing with more natural. Whereas, for example, I can love you, but it can be forced. It could be something that, like Bathsheba brought out. I love you if you do this or do that. Then that's going to determine my love for you. Where if it's something that's more organic, because even when you're dealing with truly, you're still dealing with organic. It's just like you brought out the term of the two different terms.
Depends on the person.
That's right, and you absolutely right. Because when you let me tell you something. When you get organic love, it fits so perfectly because you're comfortable with it. Like for example, I'll say this: organic will most likely take the love to another level. Maybe there's levels to love. Like there's like say for example, I can say I love you, but there's certain but my love may come with certain reasons why I love you. Like why you love this brother, man. This brother, he keep money in my pocket. He keep, But when you have an organic love, it's natural. A person could just wake up and be like, man. And I ain't talking about nothing creepy, but a person could just wake up and be like, man. And it's just a feeling. Like you ever naturally felt like for example, you have you ever just seen someone and it just naturally just brighten your day? And I'm just using that as an example. That may not be a strong example, but I'm just using an example. Like when I see this young lady right here, little princess. When little princess comes in, I light up. Because I'll be missing this little girl because I love that little girl. And I think she's absolutely gorgeous, like baby doll. But that's organic. That's my way of saying it's organic. And I guess, and I guess I see what you're saying, Marie, because it depends on the person too. Because a person can say, "Well, I love you," but when you throw that word organic in there, it just makes it. I guess it just makes it sound a little bit more. Right.
That's what it just boils down to be. But
yes, ma'am.
my mom can be like, I love you more. I love you more. Michael,
right.
My brother now be like, I love you. She could that organic, and it's just a smooth way of saying it.
Just a smooth way.
Basically,
okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. See, Tessie,
now, when it comes to food, like you get the organic food, now it's something different when you run a program. Be like, I'm getting that organic juice right here, and then I'm just getting the regular Yelp, then that's when it becomes a different way. Be like, I'm shopping for organic food. But if I'm telling you I love you, Michael, and my mom be like, I organic love you. I mean,
I see what you're saying.
That's all they is. It's just the word. Yeah,
that's deep.
In English. That was one of my major things in school, the English. When you plan, it's not like with nobody emotion, but it just, if people want to hear you, if I'm thinking I'm going to get further by telling you I organically love this person, then somebody else saying I love you, heck, we going to go to, organic love.
That's true. Well, I'm a
decipher.
That's true. And you know what? You brought some great insight to that. And I just was thinking, like, I would ask anybody, like, when you buy something organic, what makes it organic? It's untainted. There's no pesticides added to it. You understand? It's at its purest form. Well, love can be that way. And I think that too, and I'm just gonna throw this little argument out there real quick. I think that too, because we don't know what real love is. It would be hard for someone to wrap around the word organic because we don't know what real love is because we're so used to the pesticides. We're so used to the artificial flavorings in love. We're so used to the white sugar in love. You understand? But when it comes to that natural love, we like if we were to leave the city today and go into a part of the city that's no pollution, we would get sick. Or people have gotten sick because the body is not adjusted to pureness because it's so adjusted to artificialness. Just like when the body can heal without this man-made medication. The only reason why sometimes, I'm not gonna say the only reason, let me take that away. But the reason why the body breaks down even more when you stop taking it is because the body don't know about what natural healing is anymore because it has been superficially sustained. And that's the same with love. love is something that we superficially say. Like, for example, you brought out a good point too. Like when you say, I love you. Why you love me? Like if somebody say they love you, I think it's okay to ask, why you love me? I'll tell you why. The reason I love you is because your spirit. The reason that I love you is because you know how to cook. The reason that I'm being honest. Now that's organically, I'm coming at you like this is my honesty. I'm not being superficial, like treating you like Elder would say, treating people like they, better than sliced bread. Like, man, when the Almighty made you, he broke the mold. Man, ain't nobody else like you on this earth. Man, you so fine. Ain't nobody else finer than you. Like, no, that's not organic love. That's sort of like I was going into an example of what love bombing is. Love bombing is a mental disorder. You can look it up. It's a mental disorder. This is how you know when people are love bombing you. When you're being love bombed by an individual, there's nothing wrong with compliments, but they make you feel like you're better than sliced bread. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I would be nothing. You know who reminds me of love bombing? Y'all may disagree with me, but Kim. I can't really listen to his music because when I try to, he'd be like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know how to wash myself. Because, girl, I was not a man until I met you. I wasn't a man. You'd be like, what? What kind of foolishness? You wasn't a man till you met her. I wasn't a man till I met you, girl. And then you listen to that would be a form of love bombing to me. Like, no, I was a man before you and I'll be a man after you. But I also don't have to beat you down like some of these brothers out here. Like this brother, he passed a while ago. His name was Samuel. I forgot his last name or something Samuels. Kevin Samuels. Yes. Kevin Samuels was a guy that said in order to, he would get with these women, not get with them, but he would talk about them. He was a coach. And he would get with these women. He'd talk to them. He'd be like, you ain't nothing. When you hit a certain age, you depreciate. And I had a conversation with my wife one night. And we got into a deep discussion about it. I said, babe, you know what's deep? Look at all the commercials for women to fix themselves up, but there ain't a lot for men. Why do you think that is? And she was like, because, we got into a heated debate. I was like, that's because y'all depreciate. And I'm like, yeah, y'all depreciate it. And she's like, what? Y'all like depreciate it. And I had to stop. And I was like, well, yeah, you depreciate. That's what you do, But then when you think about depreciate, you kind of like taking it away from you, a human being. You're more like a thing at that point. Because I'm saying you depreciate. Right. That's what happens to a car. Right. That's why I got to go and put new things on the car so that when I sell it, I can get at least close to my book value or maybe over. So I take my car and I add rims to it. I might change the cut, to try to keep it looking attractive. But women, I'm going to tell you this now, sisters, you don't depreciate. You only get better with time. And I'm talking about sisters. So nothing against white women. I just love my black ones. So sisters, y'all don't depreciate. We just don't appreciate. That's what the problem is. It's not that you go down in value. It's that we don't appreciate how valuable you are. That's where the issue lies. So when I listen to Kevin Samuels, and if I got to be a man to beat you down, to boost me up, then that's not somebody I need to really follow. Because I shouldn't have to beat you down to boost me up. But when you love bombing, those are individuals who just, they say, for example, you make them mad. And I'm pretty sure y'all don't have these in relationships. You make them, let's say that the person that's love bombing makes their mate mad. They get sick. They be like, well, what's the matter? And the mate may be like, just give me time. And then, no, what's the matter? I'm going to fix it. What's wrong? What did I do? I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I'm going to kill my, oh my God. And you like, calm down, man. All you did was didn't take out the trash when I need you to in the kitchen sink. It's okay. I'll get over it. No, I was wrong. They ripping their eyes. I kill myself. Now, I'm being a little facetious, but that's sort of like on the lines of love bombing. And then what happens is they start using manipulation over time. They'll start wanting to separate you from others. Why you want to go over there with them? Why you don't want to spend no time with me? I work too. I want my wife here. And a person who love bombs, all they really want is somebody. They want you there. They'll be in the other room somewhere, but as long as you're in the house, you get up and you go to the bathroom. Where you going? Where you getting ready to go? Yo, so it's somebody else. It's somebody else. That's love bombing. That's a mental disorder. That's scary. There's nothing wrong with throwing compliments out there, and and y'all women be perfect. Y'all like it when we a little jealous. Y'all like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like, baby, where you going? You looking good. I'm just going to the store, but why you gotta throw that on, baby? No, y'all like that. Not when, where are you going? You're leaving me. You looking at him like, baby, I'm just going to get orange juice. No, we don't need orange juice. I'll go with you. Like, hey, calm that stuff down. But that's love bombing. But that's because we don't really know what love truly is. And we have to, and the only way to truly know what love is, because if we don't truly love Yahweh, then we truly don't know what love is. All right, Sister Sydney, my queen, said, Shalom. It's my personal opinion that you cannot give natural or organic love until you first love yourself, flaws and all. You are absolutely right. Love starts with yourself. I can't love, maybe that's it. See, if I don't love myself, then I'm not going to give love. How can I give something I can't produce or I'm not producing? You understand? If I hate myself, all I'm going to give is hate and mask it in love, which then could lead to love bombing. You understand? Now I'm on a psychological thing now. I'm on something else now. That's the only way I can show you love. I can only show you love if I love myself. Does that mean I be arrogant? No, it don't mean I'm arrogant. But I love me. I love me. You understand? I love me. Every once in a while, I'm gonna start getting my nails done and, keeping up with my grooming and myself and getting into the gym. And y'all, when I'm getting into the gym and I'm starting to do it because I love me. I love me. Because I'm with me all the time. So I want to love me. I want to love, because if I love me, then if I care about you, I'm only going to give you what I'm giving myself. Unless I'm just an a-hole and I'm a jerk and all I do is think about me because I like being by myself. So because I like being by myself, all I'm going to do is think about me. It's all about me. That's what people who want to be by themselves sometimes, it's not necessarily that the world is necessarily evil. Maybe I'm just selfish. I don't want to give nothing else. I don't want to. I'm gay. And here's the thing. It don't mean you selfish because you just mean. It could be a trauma. That's a trauma. Selfishness is a trauma. I gave so much of myself to this person. I do not want to give that energy to no one else. And what happens? It formulates me saying I'm better off by myself. When in reality, you're saying I'm hurt and I didn't get closure on my pain. So that I don't have to feel that pain anymore. Guess what? I'll just be by myself. And what you're doing, let me tell you something, what you're doing. If you choose to be by yourself, you know what you're doing in a sense? You're robbing the world of how great you are. That's what you're doing. Especially if you say, I'm just going to be by myself and I ain't going to work on myself. You're just saying, I'm going to be by myself. I'm telling you, brothers, if you listening, brothers, and you men out there listening, like, I don't need no woman. Any man to tell me you don't need a woman, I look at you sideways. Because if you don't need a woman, you need a man. Because I'm here to tell you, ain't nothing like a woman. Expect my sisters, ain't nothing like him. That black, dark, chocolate skin, all soft up against me. I mean, we holding hands in the park and watching the birds fly around in rainbows. And I'm telling you, we listening to, you ain't got to like saying, we listening to soul music. It could be white, black, purple, orange. It's music that brings our souls together, our spirits together. Because our soul is this. This is our soul. Our spirits together. And we sitting, ain't nothing like, you ever seen so much, what's beautiful about black love, black, and you ever seen two black, just, I mean, midnight black. I mean, black, like under the bed black. And they just mingle together and they mix together and they form beautiful. Is y'all hear me? They mix together and they form beautiful. It did. Ain't nothing like it. But, and like I'm saying, I ain't got nothing against white folks, but you know, you got darker than white. It's odyssey. No, I want black on black. Ain't nothing like black on black love, especially when it's genuine. But then when it's talking about genuineness, that's when you deal into that organic. Why am I using that word organic again? Because organic is genuine. It's not tainted. Sister Beulah, shalom, Beulah. She says, praise the mighty Yahweh, Shabbat shalom, family. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And then Hannah, praise Yahweh. Hannah Flores, and thank you for the comments too. Says, does that mean once you have self-love, your love become organic love, natural? Meaning your love isn't forced towards anyone. That's it. Because here's the thing, not everything is going to be organic. Some things, when you dealing with nature, like for example, gorillas, so to speak, most of your gorillas, or most species of gorillas, they can't eat bananas that are not organic. They'll get rid of them. That's why sometimes they eat their own poop, because their poop has the nutrients in it. They just eat it. Now, don't kiss a gorilla in the mouth, but you know. But nonetheless, when it's organic, something organic don't mix well with something that's not organic, because natural and unnatural are like oil and water. They just don't mix well. You understand? So yes, to love yourself, you got to learn to love yourself. And when you love yourself, you're able to love the Almighty. People say a girl's first love or a boy's first love is his parents. No, your first love is Yahweh. Learn to love the Almighty, and He'll teach you how to love others. See, we ain't got to really sit back, and I'm glad Marie brought it out. We don't got to add no titles to nothing. Once we give that love to Yahweh, then He'll teach us how to love others. He'll show me how to love my wife. He'll show you how to love your husband. And in turn, He'll show you how to love you, to love yourself. Sister Tamar said, with self-love, praise Yahweh, with self-love, you become more aware of things or people who are not for you. That's right. When you love yourself, you know poison. If you have I'm going to tell you how you know, let me do a quick test to show an example of how we may not love ourselves. How many of us in here still eat fast food? If it's once in a while, you might stop and get some fries, or, you know what I'm saying, might find out a restaurant is clean, so you might grab you a burger. How many of us still eat fast food? Good. How many of us every once in a while go to the store and do a little cheat day? You might get you some ice cream, some cookies. Yeah. Well, let me ask this question. I do it all the time. But let me say this. How many of us will wait to the last minute before we go to a doctor?
But honey,
I don't want to show hands. That's how I ended up with this. Waited to the last minute.
Well, I guess.
Not you. I ain't saying you. I was just pointing to this audience.
No,
but with me, because I waited, I should have had this been taken care of. Then probably I wouldn't be standing up here with a pacemaker.
But if you don't really know what's going on, like with my situation, I just kind of blew it off, and always indigestion.
But see, that's the thing.
Or
It's not.
I'm
It's
just not exercising enough.
right,
but that's
if you spend $400, let me ask you a question. If you spend $400 on a pair of shoes, when you take them shoes off, what are you gonna do with them? You gonna just throw them in the back of the car? You gonna throw them in the kitchen and one in the bathroom? You might not even wear them everywhere. We treat things better than we treat ourselves. How you treat the thing, let me tell you something. You want an example of organic love? Look at how we treat the things that are either bad for us or we really don't need in our lives. Do I need a pair of $400 shoes? Ain't nothing wrong with my feet. I just want to look good. But can I look good in a pair of $50 shoes? How do you keep your house? You got stuff all over the place. Most of us will keep our houses better than we keep ourselves. As soon as you hear something go clink, clink, hey, Tom, can you come over and look at our furnace? But as soon as you passing out 3 times, you be like, I'm all right, I'm just thirsty. No, you fool, you passed out 3 times, back to back. But then you take people who watch their diets. They'll watch the amount of stress that comes into their life. That's an example of someone learning, I'm loving myself now. If you don't take care of you, then I can't expect you to love me. And sometimes the love that I give ain't gonna fit your puzzle piece. But if it's organic, it's gonna fit anyway. You know that once again, that mantra trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. That mantra kind of don't fit for organic love. Because it'll make, even though that square is a square, you got a round hole, it'll make that square peg small enough so it'll fit inside of there and it'll feel natural. So if it does sound smooth, I like it. Like, baby, I got that organic love for you. Dude, he got that. He love me. He don't like nobody else. So you're like, yeah, that's that smooth stuff. But in order to truly love yourself now, we're going to get ready and we're going to take a break. And I want to thank everyone that listened. But before we go, I want to thank, it's been 3 hours. I want to thank everyone that listened to the lesson, to everything, because I know that I went over some scriptures, but a lot of the things that I talked about is things that we're missing. And I didn't get into sorrow, but we're going to get into sorrow because we're going to take a break till about 3:30, and we'll come back. We'll come back on after the break. And then we're going to get into, we're going to get into sorrow. And I also want to get into, can we eat blood? That's for those who like their steaks half done. Can we eat that? Is that okay? You know how they like to take the half done meat and dip it in the butter and the blood and be like, oh, it just gives it flavor. Like, can we eat that stuff? So those are things that I want to talk about, but I want to definitely get into sorrow. Excuse me. And also, I want us to think about this as well. What's the difference between tactical and strategy? Let's think about what's the difference between tactical and strategy. And I'm going to share something with you. Think about this. Tactical handles the moment. Strategy handles when the moments don't work as they should. For example, when you're stressed, what do? Most people be like, I'm gonna go eat. I'm going to overeat. I'm going to overeat my stress. I'm going to go smoke weed. That would be considered tactical thinking because you're only addressing the surface. If I build a strategy on how to deal with stress, let's say my strategy is I'm gonna smoke weed. Well, if I don't have no weed, then what's the next step? Okay, food. We'll go to the grocery store. So I need to find another way. See, that's forming a strategy now. See, we want to be more strategic thinkers than just tactical thinkers. So those are just some things that I want to cover, y'all, when we get back at 3:30. But I want to leave you with a riddle. Hold on, let's pray out, and don't go nowhere. I want to leave y'all with a riddle. Let's face the east and let's pray out. So you pray us out.
Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty Yahweh.
Praise the mighty Yahweh.
Yahweh is righteous.
Yahweh is righteous.
Yahweh is holy.
Yahweh is holy.
And let Yahweh be magnified.
And let Yahweh be magnified.
Yahweh, thank you for allowing us to wake up on this holy day. Please continue to give us understandings over your laws, your judgments, and your statutes, and other wisdom as well. And please keep us safe throughout the day and throughout the night. Amen.
Yahweh, please bless us and keep us. Yahweh, please allow your face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. Please lift up your countenance upon us and give us peace. Blessed be your holy and righteous name, Yahweh. Thank you and bless you. Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty Yahweh. Yahweh is righteous. Yahweh is holy. And let Yahweh be magnified. Amen. All right. Praise Yahweh. I'm going to hold off on the riddle. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna deal with a few things. We're gonna deal with at 3:30, y'all willing. Come on back, please. We're gonna deal with Leviticus 17, and then we're gonna deal with tactical and strategic, and then we're also going to deal with how to deal with struggle. How to deal with struggle. So we're going to deal with some of those things. But until then, I want to thank everyone for tuning in and listening to the first portion today. Please come back so that we can get into the next portion of our Sabbath services. Like I said, we'll come back at 3:30. All right. And I tell you what, we love y'all. We thank y'all. And may Yahweh continue to be our God. Praise Yahweh. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.